Welcome to the finale, the 2023 final live stream of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Conrad.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Bill.
We're all here. We're going to wrap up 2023 after this one. It's been a massive year. We've done a lot of things different and all the usual stuff. We are unfortunately only streaming this one on YouTube and Twitch tonight. Facebook has had a complete fit at me. I don't know fucking why. It says that I posted something that violated XYZ standards, which is funny considering I don't post anything. But yeah, it's had a bit of a field day with me. I don't know. There's a whole thing behind it. I tried to dig into it, but you can't because it's all automated. And there's a few people I know being sort of caught up in this blanket ban thing. So we are on YouTube and Twitch tonight. We'll put all this stuff, on the usual platforms later on. But yeah, we got a lot to get through. Being our finale for the year, we're going to basically just cram everything we can now into one little session. So we'll have our songs of the week as always. We're going to be doing our 3 rounds in one night of our King of the Riff series. So we have 2 rounds sort of sorted out, and then we'll go through those and then do one on the fly, which will be how we determine the winner tonight as we go through things. We're going to recap and announce the scores for our Build-A-Band Power Trio edition. We've got the audience tree of the King of the Riff series as well. So there's a whole lot of stuff here to get through, just to tie everything off in a nice little bow and put a little ribbon on 2023 and call it a year as we go through this. So this is it. Got some people in the comments, which is good to see you. Thanks all for joining us. We got Nicole saying, evening one and all, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Same with Andrew. Say good evening, all, good to see you as well. Same with Rowan. Rowan's giving us the horns as always, which is fantastic. So yeah, get in the comments and say hi, all the usual stuff that we get you to do. Whether you're watching live or you tune in later on, we do appreciate you taking the time to spend it with us. So give us your thoughts. Same with Basher here. Basher saying good evening all. So good to have you with us as well, our good friend there. Same with Lee. Evening, beautiful Belle and the Beasts. That is actually a nice way to put it. Belle and the Beasts. There we go. Nicely put. That actually ties in nicely with the pre-stream chat we just had.
It does, doesn't it?
Very well.
Here we go. Oh wow. Yeah. But yes, we are getting stuck right into things now. As always, there are reference tracks for you to check out, so make sure you hit those into the description box. We'll put them through in the chat as we go through things, as we usually do. But there are things in there to go over for you at your own leisure, and that'll be tracks from what do we got there? We've got Lung, Bruce Dickinson, Judas Priest, Killcode, Grand Magus, Van Halen, Dio, Metallica, and Pearl Jam. There's a sample of all the things we're covering tonight. But yes, we do have a lot to get through as always. Now, with that said, I'm just going to quickly get on the front foot here and apologize for last week. We got a little bit out of hand, and we're going to do things a bit differently to rein things in as a general rule. So we've done a few tweaks to formats and things like that to behind the scenes. We're going to try something a bit different tonight to see how it plays out, and that'll hopefully keep us a bit more on point and get us back to that sort of time frame we want to get to as well. I've also warned everyone that I will be using the mute button if required. So that is now well and truly on the table. But yeah, my apologies to everyone for last week. That went a bit too far. So I want to put that on the record that we are cleaning things up as we go through things to make it better for everyone overall. On that note, let's do the rounds. Dave, how's your week been?
Busy. Very busy. That time of year, and fucking work went nuts the last 2 days. So I went boyfriend with my fucking life. I have one funny story from my Uber Eats adventures that happened Tuesday night. Yeah, it was bound to happen eventually, and it fucking happened. So picked up one bag from local Woolworths, and it had all these nice oranges, nice big juicy oranges, and a bunch of bananas up the top. Like, okay, I'm probably delivering to some little old lady. So I went down the road a bit and got to this industrial area. And on one side of the street, I can't find this fucking number 8. I can't find it. On the other side is clearly 7 and 9. 8 is, there's no numbers on this side. So I see this really dirty green sliding gate. Looking behind there's a letterbox behind this bush that says number 8. Like, okay, seems fucking deserted. Like, I'm going to get murdered going in here. So I open this gate, and there's this building, nice pink door above it, Club 8. Okay. Right. I have no idea what's behind this door, but I'm about to find out.
Wow.
So I bring the bag filled with the oranges and the bananas to this door, wide open. There's this little reception with a locked door that says private. Another side that says we prefer cash, and then a whole bunch of pictures of these women. Another door here at the reception. Out comes this guy with his neck tattoos and he's all slick black hair. Uber delivery. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about them. Comes around, like, here's your bananas, sir. Hand them over. And I left. And I guess it was a special request or something, but somebody had a good night. I assume that the oranges were for a shot of vitamin C and the bananas were hand in hand with some lube, I guess. But yeah. Somebody had a fun night and I had a good story.
Wow.
So that was the highlight of my week. Over the Conrad.
Beat that if you can.
Yeah, nothing quite as scary as that. Sounds terrifying, actually. It's horrible.
You do
quite disturbing. I was at Paradise Lost and The Almighty. So I did Paradise Lost Friday and The Almighty Saturday. So
tell me Paradise Lost were as good as I hope they are.
Fantastic show.
Oh.
Paradise Lost are always brilliant. They're always stunning. They're always really, really good. So I've never seen them do a bad show. No, they're fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, oversold the venue, though. Way oversold the venue.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was dangerous. It was actually like, this is not fun. This is actually horrible. Thankfully, I got a seat upstairs. I managed to escape the downstairs. You couldn't move. You were packed in sardines. And I managed to step in the VIP area.
Yeah, that's not good. You don't.
I went up and found some VIP seats that weren't being used, and I accommodated those.
Nice. Do that.
Nobody moved me along. Nobody moved me along. So I thought, right, I'll have these then, and sat there and watched the show. Yeah, it was much better. Yeah, it was a good show.
Nice.
I suppose the
good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That was my weekend. Over to you, Jeff.
Hey, yeah, cool. Look, not much strange with me. It's been, same old. What you just said about overselling a show did remind me of a show I went to once. I remember, so it was Queensrÿche, right? And it was here in Melbourne. It was at the Palace.
I was there.
Palais, but the Palace, yeah. And
I was there.
And that show there was so many people in there, and it was so fucking hot, and I was like dying. Like I like the heat in there, you couldn't move, and I felt like it's definitely a sardine. I remember I enjoyed the show, but I had to go back to get some water. I had to like try to get myself back to buy these little fucking bottles of water for like $5.90 or something, and it was about 300 mil. I bought 2 of them, put them in my pocket, and then as I was taking a sip on a fucking one, I just got a little bit in my mouth. Some cunt, I was so close, some fucking asshole bashed into me. The bottle fell out of my fucking hand into the fucking. That was it, gone. And now I'm back right where I fucking started. It was. I loved the show, but it was horrific. Yeah. You just brought that memory to my mind there, Conrad. Sorry.
Sorry.
But yeah, not a good feeling. Not a good feeling. But anyway, yeah. So who else was at that show? Someone else. You were there, Conrad?
I was there. It was stunning.
Yeah, it was great. It was good.
Brilliant show.
Yep, really good. I remember Jimmy Benzino. He said he
always goes to Queensrÿche.
Yeah, that was before I knew, obviously, Jimmy. But yeah, 2006, I think it was.
That was when they were doing 1 and 2 highlights from 1 and 2.
Yeah, I was there. Well, I was at the Sydney one.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I saw that show. It was awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it was good memories. Anyway, look, that's my life. I have done nothing other than just work, and that reminds me of something. This is not a bin, but it's fucking pissed me off. I think you mentioned, Dave, when you were talking about the number 7 on the wall there. I don't know why it just popped in my head, but people need to get a fucking sense of humor. Like, I was on the phone the other day, and this woman, I'm talking. So what we do is to verify the account, we send a code, right? Mm-hmm. And so I can see what the code is basically, and I actually can't see it to be fair. I send the code, they read it out to me, and as it happened, it's a 6-digit code. The last 3 digits of it was 789, and I went. I typed it in, and I went. Must have been hungry. And then it was like, fucking what? Must have been hungry. 789.
Oh wow.
What? And I'm like, What do you mean? 7, 8, 9? It must have been hungry. And I'm trying to explain it, and I feel like a fucking idiot. She still didn't get it. So I'm fucking hell. And then she's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Can we just get on with the yeah. People just need to get a sense of fucking humor. I mean, it's a dad joke. I'm not even a dad, but 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? I'm not the only one. Yeah. Anyway,
we've all used it.
Yeah, we've all used it. I'm sure. Yeah. Anyway, that's me. Belle, please take it away.
Oh God. I've also had a busy week actually. Work has been busy, but it always is in December. It just goes nuts, and I'm really glad I've got one day left, and then I can just do this and walk away because it only gets worse from here. But also just, I don't know, finalizing the last minute bits and pieces for the trip. Sorting out travel money, like foreign money and just stuff, running errands. I was actually doing a bit of running around this morning, and the boys will probably like this. I was walking through a shopping center and my heart was just lifted because I saw this girl. She wouldn't have been more than 16 years old. Just this little thing walking along, wearing a Dream Theater t-shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
Oh my God! And she didn't look like a poser. She didn't look like she put cotton on or and just had no idea who they were. She looked like she liked
Dream
music.
Theater t-shirts are cotton on, nice and cheap. Fuck yeah, bring it.
Yeah. I don't think I mean, would it matter if you buy your band shirts and cotton on because you don't listen to the But anyway, I was very happy to see that.
Nice.
I'm like,
That's
wow, cool. I'm happy to see that. I guess that makes me a fan. So, yay.
Well done, Belle.
Belle's realised you've won, boys. You've converted Belle.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes, you've won.
Once you start counting your footsteps, you know you're a true fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
You've got OCD.
I was counting. Oh, I'll talk about that later. But anyway, I don't know.
Okay.
That's about it. That's all from me. How are you, Andrew?
Good. Just on a quick side note here, a big thank you to Belle for running around. She's busy as all hell and still doing the tallying for us here behind the scenes, and it's helped me out a lot this week. So a big thank you to Belle for doing that, especially when you got a lot going on. When do you head off now? How long to go?
Wednesday morning.
Wow. So there you go. See, so you're doing all this stuff, and you're not far away from heading overseas for a while, and you're still helping us here behind the scenes. So I just wanted to say,
but I like
big
this stuff. I like this stuff. It's fun.
I get it, but it's still a lot of work, and I did throw you a curveball last night too. So I do really appreciate what you've done with this thing. So, everyone, shout out to Belle for the work she does behind the scenes, especially this week where it's absolutely manic.
Thank you.
My week is manic. This is the final week of everything. So we're doing our final stream tonight. We're doing a final Sunday session on Sunday, which is our top 10s for the year. And then in the midst of all this, I'm editing up all the TV I need from now until the first 2 weeks of January as well. So there's a bit going on. And my editing deadline is Sunday night. So it's there for Monday morning for them to ingest into the network. So I've got a lot to get done in a very short amount of time. So that's all good. And then on top of all that, if that's not enough, Facebook decided to ban me because I posted something that I got one for putting something in a chat that wasn't appropriate, posting something that breached guidelines, and then posting something else that breached copyright. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I can't even look at the post. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're talking about. So it's just like a completely redundant exercise. I'm like, okay, what was they done? Something silly. I don't know what, but yeah, Facebook had a moment this week, and hence why I can't post anything. Facebook had to use Jody's phone to. Because we have other admins on your accounts, folks. If you've got a page of any sort, have other people as an admin so you can do other stuff. Get yourself a get out of jail free card. But yeah, that was a bit interesting. So that's been around that. Just delivery driving as always, which has actually been really busy. I had a funny. Not so funny story, actually. We do alcohol deliveries up here, and one yesterday was a bit of a weird one. I rocked up and I've gone to got to do a handover and check the ID and all that kind of usual shit. And they've walked out and just gone, nah, just keep just go that way and just keep going, and we can't accept that. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's going to be very careful and go now. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? So you don't know if there's like some dude on a bender about to come and get it and just fucking cave my head in to come and get it or something. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, lock the car, get the fuck out of there, and drive off. And then the dude whose order it was just fucking messaged me nonstop for like the next hour, trying to fucking get me to come back. I'm like, I'm not coming back. I returned the order to the store. I'm done. I'm just fucking not even entertaining this shit. So I was like, that was a not very comfortable moment in the delivery driving scheme of things. But on the flip side, where Bell was talking about that, where I live, there's actually a lot of metalheads around. It's actually been cool to see and talk to. So I was wearing a Slash t-shirt the other day, and I do a lot of Coles deliveries, shop and deliver stuff. And so just going around picking it up. And so the young chick there, she's like in uni at best, kind of thing. She'd be early 20s. And she's just going, oh, you're going to see Slash on tour in February. And I've gone, oh, probably not this time around. I've got a lot on, and I've seen him a few times. And she's like, oh my God. And I went, yeah, I saw him, a couple of times with that, and seen him with Velvet Revolver as well. And she's like, oh my God. She's like a complete music geek, but obviously too young to go and see all these shows. So she was having a complete jealousy moment about the things that have gone, yeah, if I told you all the bands I've seen, you probably hate me. So I'm going to go now. So that's how it works, unfortunately. But no,
hate you.
Yeah, but there's so many cool people up here wearing t-shirts, which is a bit of a switch to the usual thing. More than I expected. A much bigger sort of rock and metal presence than I thought would originally be here, but there's a lot in town. So I'll take that for a win wherever I can.
Cool.
Good old Gimpy Town. There we go. Alrighty. Back to the comments here before we move on. We've got Sally here saying, hello, metal people. It's good to see you as always, Sally. Same with Vinny. Vinny's gone, evening, beautiful folk. Bummed that it's already but it's going out with a bang. Yes, we are going to try our best to do that. Lee says, hoping Dave would have had his red baseball cap on in honor of Mr. Durst being in Oz.
Fuck that. Is he in Oz? Let me interview him.
I didn't know that.
Arrange for an interview. I'd love to speak to that cunt.
Oh, here we go. Michael is here saying, hey, all, good to see you, buddy. Darren's here saying, hey, all, just got into wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Have an awesome break. Cheers. Likewise to you, a good friend. I know you'll catch up later on. We'll try not to make this one 4 hours for you like the last time around.
No.
Yeah. Vinny's gone, I'll give it a minute to solve this riddle. I'll give it all a minute to solve this riddle. I've a back, but I'm not a camel. I can be sat on, but I'm not a chair. I sometimes have arms, but never hands. What am I?
Clock? No, you can't sit on a clock. Well, you could.
We'll be here all night. We'll be here all night.
Yeah, we're going to hear all night. The people can answer that in the comments. We're not going to test ourselves tonight. Michael's here going, hey, all good to see you. And other Michael is here saying, yay, thanks, Bell. You rocks. There we go. That's the point there as well. Alrighty. You guys can all answer that little riddle that's been dropped by Vinny in the comments.
I got no idea.
We're going to move on to our songs of the week this week. And first cab off the rank, we're going to go back in time a little bit for this one. What do we got here? So we got Grand Magus, Hammer of the North is first cab off the rank. There's a link now in the description box. It's in the comments as always. So we're going to start off with this one. It was allocated to Bell. It was chosen by Conrad. It's from Hammer of the North, the title track, obviously. 2010, the album was released. It's the 5th studio album from the Swedish band. So, Bell, over to you.
Well, I've never heard of these guys before.
No.
And they sound really good. So I'm glad I have now. Thank you, Conrad. It's like a mix of hard rock and doom, I reckon. It's just kind of, I don't know, there's a cool sound. The song has a bit going on. It's sort of like going on an epic voyage, but in a kind of cruisy, chill kind of way, if that makes sense. It's like, it's not like the, marching into Mordor like, power metal bands. It's kind of, you're going somewhere like that, but, you're tailing and I'm talking shit anyway.
No, I get it. Makes sense.
That's the vibe I got. I listened to these heaps and I couldn't fault it. Like the song itself and all the performances were just fantastic.
Nice.
The vocals are insanely good. Perfect match for the music style. There's guitar riffs galore. The main riff reminds me of something, but I haven't got it yet. It doesn't matter how many times I listen to it. It's
Yeah.
eludes
So
me.
anyway.
So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. Cool solo, plenty of feeling in it. Nothing flashy, and that's the kind of solo that I like hearing. The bass player gets plenty of moments to shine. I love what he's doing. Or she. I didn't watch the video for this, so
I think it's a he.
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's a he.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what the song is about lyrically. Some kind of, I don't know, maybe like I'm just getting Nordic god vibes with change of seasons. And I read through them and I'm just like, I don't really know what it's about. It's just, but they were kind of cool. So
yeah.
I don't know if this band, I don't even know where they're from actually. Where are they from?
Sweden.
Conrad? Okay.
They're Swedish.
All right. Sweden. Oh God, no wonder they're all biased.
They are Vikings.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Well, Norway would probably make more sense, but it's up there. What's it about? Beautiful chord picking outro. There's some eerie sound effects, which were also cool. I will say that the song didn't really grab me on the first listen. I was like, yeah, but I just the second listen and thereafter, it's genuinely made me want to at least listen to the rest of the album this is on. Don't know how many albums they've released. I haven't had time to go in and dig, but I would like to. Yeah. So I hope you will provide all of that information in your review.
Nice. Cool. Anything else there, Bill, or that's a wrap?
No, it was good.
That's a wrap. Cool.
Yeah,
nice.
it's a thumbs up. Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. So Conrad, the floor is yours. You picked this one at Blast in the Past. I don't think many of us have heard this one, to be honest. So where'd you dig this one up from?
I was a massive fan of this guy's other band. The guy from Arch Enemy, Micah Mott from Arch Enemy, had a side project called Spiritual Beggars. And Spiritual Beggars sounds like a cross between Deep Purple and Black Sabbath. It's got that Hammond organ sound, and I loved it. And I saw them a couple of times. It was about 3 times in London. I just fucking loved them. They did a dual headliner with Clutch over here, and just blew me away. The singer from Spiritual Beggars plays in Grand Magus. So he's from the band Grand Magus. So they got the singer from Grand Magus. So that turned me on to Grand Magus, and then I checked out some of their stuff. Their earlier stuff's really doomy and slow and a bit depressive and not really me. But then on this record, they went for a different vibe and feel on this record, and it was a much more of an up tempo and more of an uplifting and feel to this style. It wasn't so doomy and depressive. It was a lot more up tempo and happier, and that's what attracted me to it. When I heard this record, I was just like, "Oh, this is fucking unreal." And brilliant. I've seen them since, and yeah, stunning, fantastic band. So just one of those. I'm more attracted to them through a side project that he did, and then that attracted me to his own band. Yeah, but if you like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just traditional old school metal, really, but done with a modern kind of sound to a modern production to it. It's nice. It's crisp. But heavy at the same time.
Do they have any albums after this 2010 one?
They have many after this. They've about 5 after this one, at least.
Cool. Nice.
So this is where they kind of went for a more, I guess, commercially accessible sound. It's a great record, actually, this one, Hammer of the North. Brilliant place to start and work forwards. And, their albums are pretty solid. I won't deny. So, yeah. Check them out, peoples. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you.
Well, I think I know which way this is going to go, but we always do the thumbs up, thumbs down at the end of every song. So show them, folks, which way are you going with this one? I'm going thumbs up. Fucking happy.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.
Dave, middle of the road.
Middle of the road.
Hey, that was about 7-8.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're doing the clock thing now.
I like it. Teddy said
All
Dave's
right.
at 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on before we do get to 10 o'clock. Alrighty. So I'll get to comments here quickly for a moment here. So Rowan says, trying to think of what Andrew posted on Facebook to breach the guidelines, but all I can think is a dick pic, but it was Paul McCartney's dick. So there you go. What happened there? Okay, well, wow. Vinny's gone in answer to his riddle before, so back quickly to the riddle. The riddle was, I have a back, but I'm not a camel. I can be sat on, but I'm not a chair. I sometimes have arms, but never hands. What am I? Answer, a quadruple amputee. So,
Oh my God. What the
Get that.
fuck?
We're gonna get that.
Vinny. What are we gonna do with you, man? Following on from that, Vinny's gone. Is Connor dressed for his parole hearing or speaking at the G20 summit? Either way, looking sharp, mate. So there we go. But it's a compliment, looking sharp. But he does have a meeting to go to. Yes,
I'm up to an assessment, so yes, I'm off to do a job.
We're going to be going on the road. We're going to be having a walk through London with Conrad in a little bit. So it's going to be a bit of fun there, which we're looking forward to.
Yeah, we're going out, getting on buses and
on
tubes.
the town. On the town in the morning. There we go. Right here. Andrew says, I had the same experience hearing Grand Magus from buying Spiritualette, Beggar's Demons album. Really cool band. Hope for new music soon. So there we go. More love for that one there, which is good to see. I love stories where you find a band through just little, like, quote unquote mutual contacts, or when you find a band when you're searching for a particular song or something like that. I found, you just find different band. I found the band Shinedown by looking for a Godsmack song called Shinedown, and then heard there was a whole band that did it, and then like, okay, that was a rabbit hole that I just didn't look back from. So you find bands in the weirdest way sometimes, which is that's the cool part about doing it all.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of bands that we don't know or find to bands that we probably all should know, we're going to move on now to Judas Priest with Trial by Fire. In the comments, in the description box, in the drill. This was allocated to Jeff, chosen by Bell.
What?
It's from
Me?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I know. Well done, mate. Throw a curveball in the end. But this is from the Invincible Shield album due March 2024. It's the 19th studio album from the British band that we all should know if you're tuning into us here. So, Jeff, over to you.
Yeah. Now, the fact that I actually have to find this is not a joke. Where am I here? Just give me a minute. This is real. What the fuck? All right. All right, so
all right.
Here we go. Okay, fucking hell, Jeff, done well. Anyway, no, my thing was all over the fucking place like a dog's breakfast. I don't know. I got it.
Cool.
Got it.
Search function is your friend.
Yeah, this is true. Search function. What the fuck's that? All right,
says the IT guy.
Yeah.
We padded enough for you? There we go.
Yeah, I've got it. All right, so. Judas Priest, Trial by Fire, right? So, look, what a song, you know? And every song so far that I've heard from this upcoming album sounds absolutely killer. Priest knows how to fucking do it, and they are still doing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable that these guys have been around as a band for 54 years, and they can still do shit like this. And the young bands that are just coming out of nowhere or been around for 5 or 10 years, if you're lucky, no, these guys are just stomping all over the new guys. So this is great. So Priest is one of those rare bands that has managed somehow to remain relevant for more than 50 years. As I mentioned, 54, which is crazy. How have they done it? I don't know how they've done it. It's just not human. You know, there are other bands out there that are equally as old. But bands that are still putting out relevant music that is as good as this or as good as anything they've ever done, that's a list that I'm sure you can probably count on one hand. Seriously.
Sure.
Priest is an amazing band, and this band just showcases that amazing ongoing talent. Trial by Fire has that unmistakable Priest sound that they just own, followed by great meaty riffs, chunky bass to tie it all down, and then an absolute nail your ass to the ground, in the pocket drumming by, you know, the legendary behemoth. He's fucking huge. Scott Travis. I think he's 6'4", 6'5". He's massive. This guy's addition to the band in 1989 changed the band's trajectory as far as I'm concerned. Since his addition, drumming has actually become part of the DNA of Priest. It helps to drive the sound, pushing it in places where it really never had the ability to go before he joined. And then, of course,
Painkiller.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what a way to start. Painkiller.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you know.
Yep.
And you know, they haven't looked back from there. They just haven't, you know, even after losing Halford after that, they still didn't look back.
Yep.
So look, you got Halford, speaking of him. So how is the fuck is this guy able to sing like he did nearly 50 years ago? It boggles the mind. Well, I honestly can't think of anyone from that era who's still making music that has the range that this monster has. His vocal prowess literally knows no bounds. He's truly a legend in every sense of the word. And I honestly believe, if you believe this sort of thing, that when they made him, the mold was broken.
I think Biff Byford's the only one that comes close.
Yeah. You know, I think of like guys like Jeff Tate, which I love. Jeff Tate can't sing like he used to. This guy can still do it. I don't know how he does it. Even Bruce Dickinson, who is great, still you listen to him and there's some of the you know the higher notes and stuff. He just can't hit anymore. He comes close, but fucking Halford just nails it. You know. And look, watching the video as well, I was really happy to see Glenn Tipton in the video. Obviously, it's similar to the last album where he's playing and writing on it and not touring. You know, and he did the same thing with Firepower and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome. All up, though, I love the song. The energy here is contagious, just like all their songs. And I really can't wait for the new album, which is Invincible Shield, which I believe comes out if my I guess my search internet prowess is anything to, you know, it comes out March 8th in my investigative powers, March 8th, 2024, which is actually 6 years almost to the day of Firepower, which dropped March 9th, 2018. And so when you think 2018 to 2024, does that make you fucking feel old? 6 years? Yeah.
Considering I remember when Firepower came out, the impact that album had, my God.
Oh, absolutely. So, look, I'm very happy that I was able to scratch that itch and see these guys at Download. And, you know, because they had always been on, they've been on a bucket list of bands that I wanted to see before I die. So I guess I could die now. Anyway, thank you, Belle. Not yet, not today, but, you know. Don't cry. No. We're going out with a bang. Not that much of a bang. All right.
Yeah, well.
But thank you, Belle. I really like this. This is a good put. You know, I'm glad you put this song up because there's been a few songs over the last few weeks or whatever, last month or whatever, and I've been tempted. To do them, but no. So thank you for doing it because it's great, awesome.
Yeah.
And if you don't like this song, anyone out there doesn't like this song, fuck, you're a bum. You have to like this song.
All right, well, Belle, your thoughts? You agree with Jeff there, obviously?
Yeah, look, I don't think there's much point in reading my notes because it's pretty much what Jeff said, just not as eloquently and much more brief because I was punching them out. But what the hell, I'll read anyway. I just want to clarify though, Jeff, did you say fuck you're a bum or fuck your bum to people who?
He's Canadian. It could be either.
It could be either. Or, Hey, how would Elephant Man react?
Either. Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
We don't discriminate. So.
No, that's not discriminate. No, but seriously, you gotta love it.
Yeah. I agree. Either way. Also, sorry, I'll get to this in a sec, but I hope you have many more bands on your bucket list because that means you can't die yet until you see them.
Oh, I'm not planning on checking out. I got many more bands, but look,
okay, good.
You know,
right, just check.
Just checking.
Good to know. Good to know.
Thank you.
All right, I'll read my notes.
Cool.
All right, so very cool fade into this song. I think it does a fantastic job of building excitement. Even after a dozen listens, I still get hyped when I hear this this song, this build. And the addition of a bell sound effect always adds drama to any song, I think. And when the song kicks into gear, they sound so good. The guitar tone is beautiful. It's so heavy. The recording and final product it's amazing.
Andy Sneap is one of the best going around now. He's fucking
No,
phenomenal.
so it was okay. I don't know
Andy
those
Sneap,
details, but yeah, great job.
So good.
These guys are just total pros. In the verses, the syncopation they're playing with is just great. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I was saying I was counting. It's not, the time signature is not tricky. It's just what they're doing within it, I think. I'm happy to be corrected, but just really cool. And then in the chorus, they just kind of get on with it. But yeah, like it just adds. They've got groove in the verses, but interest as well. They're really good. And the guitar riff is a total earworm. I've had it in my head all week.
Nice.
The vocal line in the chorus is another earworm, and the chorus itself is perfection. Every time I hear it, I just start swaying. I can't help it. It's involuntary. Great guitar solo. Again, nothing too flashy. It's just exactly what it should be for this song. There's the background gang vocals that come in during or just after the solo, and I think they really add to an already awesome song. Actually, that's another earworm, and I find myself humming that. Well, that as well. It's just this song. Just can't get it out of my head. All right, cool. So now let's talk about Rob Halford for a moment. The man is 72. I looked it up, and he sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
How is he still singing like that? Some of those high notes
I know.
that
I don't get it either.
They're like what he was doing, as you said, like 30, 40 years ago. And like he's doing it on a recording, but he's going to have to perform this live.
And
surely.
He will.
And he
will.
does.
And he wouldn't surely record a song like this if he can't belt it out live, because everyone's going to want to hear it. So, and can I also just say how great he looks at 72 years old. He's a total stud muffin, I think.
There you go.
I'm loving the white beard. He's sort of like a sexy Santa, and I wish he would come down my chimney.
Oh, awesome!
I don't know if
he only comes down certain chimneys.
I
got the wrong kind of genitals, I think, to tempt him. But
still,
it's all the same in the dark.
I'm sure he would love that, though. Yes.
He would love to come and sing for me. Well, he likes singing. I like hearing him sing. It's win-win.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of Christmas albums. He can do the white beard thing. It works. That's all good.
Oh, that first one was shit.
The second one was good.
He's awesome. All right. Shit. Full disclosure here, Judas Priest are a band that have been around for as long as I've been listening to music, or longer than I've been alive, actually. But and I've heard quite a bit of their music over the years. A few albums. I own Painkiller on vinyl.
Nice.
And I've liked everything I've heard, but for some reason I've never delved into them enough to really legitimately call myself a fan.
Oh, their discography is a trip. Fucking good.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just I've not disliked anything. So, well, they're on the list. This song, I think this song has changed that. This song has. The more I listen to this song, the more I want to hear of this band. Like genuinely, I've got a few bands that are on my, I need to backtrack into catalogs.
Everyone does. You've got more than I can count. Yeah,
they're at the top now after this song. I just think they're amazing. March the 8th, you're right, is the release date for this album. And if this and the other single they brought out are anything to go by, like at the caliber of what they're putting out, it's going to be an absolute cracker, I think. Really looking forward to it.
Belle, I have to say, go listen to Firepower. Once we hang up
Fucking
tonight,
yeah.
go listen to Firepower. That will, if you're not,
That was fantastic.
It's just
That will
Bill. Like it's their last album, and it's just fucking.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm writing it
like
down.
ridiculously good. It made all of our top tens that year when it came out. All of us.
Yeah.
Like it was just a unanimous
wow.
favorite. Yeah, it's a.
How long ago did you say it was? Did you say 6 years?
Yeah,
It
2018.
will be 6 years. It's
Yeah, it will
in
be.
March. It'll be
5 years now.
2018.
That's a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I will do that.
there we go. Alrighty. So you that's a wrap on that one too, is it, Belle? For
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
So the usual?
I'm all good. Thank you.
All right, I think I know which way this is going to go more than last time, but I'm going to give it a fucking thumbs up, massive thumbs up. This is a fucking cracker. There we go.
Yeah.
Dave Conrad, I'm assuming. Yep, there we go.
Horns.
There was no way it was not going to be, was there? No one was going to give this
Oh.
one a thumbs down.
Nobody
Jesus.
wants to be called a bum by me because you're fucking,
That's it.
right.
The old
Or
Bob
take it
Hawke
up the bum.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for
going
that
there. I'm
reference
not
to get
going
dropped
there,
in
but
somewhere.
hey. Yeah,
I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. All right, quick comments before we move on to the next song. Rowan says,
Oh shit.
Lemmy
Spilling
is
my
another one who
drinking.
sings as well now as he did when he was younger. Sorry, that was a Vinny joke. So there we go. So, fucking hell. I don't know if anyone else heard that properly, but yeah, Lemmy is another one who sings as well now as he did when he was young. Sorry, that was a Vincent joke. So there we go. That's from Rowan. What do we got? Michael says, not sure that Rob has not lost some highs, but still a great voice. Not the same for my ears. I think it's just tonality shifts. And he's still got the range. I think the tone's a bit different, but you know, it could be interesting.
When I saw him live, I couldn't believe. Like I literally had my jaw. I said to my buddy at the time, I had, holy fuck!
Yeah.
Like this, like, how's he doing this? This is not a backing track. This is him.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Yeah, we were all there at the same time. It was fucking phenomenal. Michael also said, very interested to hear the album versus Justice song. Deep Cut's usually worth listening to. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because the full track list isn't even announced yet, so it's going to be really interesting to see how it all sort of shakes out. And I'm very, very keen. We'll get more over the next few weeks, obviously. So there we go. Vinny says, I can only think of Halford and Paul Stanley can still hit those notes in their 70s. I'll be happy not to need an adult nappy when I reach that milestone. That's the same for all of us, I think. So there we go. And Andrew says, the new song is really good, and Rob's voice was the first thing to impress me straight off the bat. It's remarkable that Rob Halford and other singers like Glenn Hughes, another one actually, Paul Rogers, these two still sound fantastic. They do. They do that. There we go. Michael says, my favorite Priest tracks usually the deep cuts. That's a good point to that. Some cracks on there. And here we go. We got TC. Tim, good to see you, buddy. Hi, guys. Been a while. Priest, never disappoint. Thanks for jumping in. No, definitely they do not disappoint at all, which is absolutely phenomenal.
I love that picture.
Yeah. No, that's a great picture. Tim's profile there is good. But good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you've been keeping well out there too. We'll have to catch up at some point in the new year when I get down to Melbourne again. But Lee says, Richie saved Priest. Would be good to hear some shredding with his father-in-law, George Lynch. Actually, that would be fucking cool too. That would be an interesting one there as well. Yeah, no, Richie is a gem in that band. I will absolutely pay that. Alrighty. Next song from one icon to another. Dave, you and I have to wait a bit longer. We're going to move on to Bruce Dickinson with Afterglow of Ragnarok. This was allocated to Conrad as chosen by Jeff. It's from the Mandrake Project due March, another one in March 2024. It's the 7th solo studio album from the English singer most known for his work in Iron Maiden. Yes, this is a very interesting project coming up, but Conrad, your thoughts on this one from the great Bruce Dickinson? There are links obviously in the comments in the description box, folks, so make sure you go and check those out and do the usual as we do.
I like the guitar tone. The guitar tone is crunchier than you'd expect from Maiden, so it's more of a thrashier, crunchier guitar tone in this. It's pompous, it's overblown, but that's what you kind of get with Bruce. It is this pompous, grandiose kind of, theatrical sort of piece. But that exactly with Bruce, you're going to get that. But no, it's good. It's good. It grew on me actually. It took a couple of listens. I started listening to it. I listened to it about 3 times now, and it's a decent song. It takes you on a bit of a journey. I like that. It's not too long. It's not too short. It's just just the right amount of length, and it's for a song to be able to take you on a journey and keep you entertained and not be too long and grandiose. Manages to do it, so it's good in that respect. There's layering in the vocals, which will be interesting to see how he does this live, because you're going to have backup vocalists to do this live. Whether his band can sing, because it's his own voice that's being laid. So I don't know how he's going to do this live, but I'll be interested to see that, because he's going to be doing a solo tour here, I believe, or throughout Europe anyway. He's on all these festivals. It appears. So hopefully I'll get to catch this. No, I like this. This was interesting. It's different. So this gets a thumbs up from me, definitely. I'm not going to go into some grandiose, big, analytical, break it down into science and write out some essay on it. But no, it's decent. It's solid. So well done. Thank you for this, Jeff. Was it Jeff that chose this?
Yeah, Jeff chose it. Yeah.
Speaking of essay, all right. Thank you. Yeah, no, appreciate that. Look, good song. Look, I've long been a fan of Bruce Lee. You were done, right, Conrad? You're done. Mm-hmm. Conrad, Cooking with Conrad show. There, Miss Fly. All right.
That's awesome.
Look, I've long been a fan of Bruce Dickinson. Now, there's nothing unique there. Look, over the past 40 years, I reckon he's amassed almost as many fans as the band that he fronts. He's a singer. He's a frontman. He's an author. He's a world champion fencer, including 2 world champion silver medals, European bronze medal, and he finished 5th in the world at the 2000 Olympics. Okay?
Yeah.
He's a licensed commercial airline pilot. And then after all of that, on top of all that, the cherry on the top, he's a fucking cancer survivor. So is there anything that this man can't do? And if there is, I bet it's simply a case of he hasn't actually tried it yet. But then again, if he just find a way, he'd do it. He would add it to his impressive list of accomplishments. And I think few can argue that this man is brilliant. So
rare.
Up to the song. No, yeah, exactly. So I'm YouTube one morning, last week. I'm up bright and early, and I'm flipping through YouTube, and I see that there's a new song out by this man, and I'm like, okay, and I look at it, and it's got it's from his official channel, and it's got 64 views. I'm like, what? So I'm watching this. I'm like, holy shit, I knew right then and there, I was in pretty short company with something pretty special. And knowing that I was the 65th person on the planet to officially see the video and hear the song, I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So Afterglow of Ragnarok, I think is a good song. And while I really like it, I don't think it's the best thing that he's ever done, from his solo material. But that's okay. It's a great opening track, is what I understand. It's going to be the opening track on the new album. And so the new album, the next solo album, is going to be called The Mandrake Problem. And it's coming out March 1st of next year. And it's slated to be a full-on concept album, which will actually be his 7th solo album, which reminds me of another concept album that has something to do about the number 7.
Here we go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But look, all up that sounds quite menacing, but this song here is actually really whetted my appetite for what's to come in March. And it's hard to believe that by the time the Mandrake project comes out, it'll be 19 years since his amazing 2005 Tyranny of Souls album. 19 years. That's crazy. But look, I love the fact that he's like Andy Sneap with Priest. He's found that lock in with that Roy Z on guitar, producer, Roy Z, amazing guitar player, amazing producer. And
so good that's still going now.
Yeah,
too, after
these guys have been collaborating back for 25 years or so now. And look, while I love all of Maiden's releases, in my opinion, I really don't think that they've knocked anything out of the park in quite a long time. Maybe, in my opinion, The Final Frontier. That's just me. I think the Final Frontier was an exceptional album, but everything from that, not so much. I mean, it's been good quality stuff, but not knocking it out of the park for me. But in contrast, I think Bruce has consistently great solo material, going all the way back to 1990 with Tattooed Millionaire. Every release from his solo career. And even there was a band in there, believe it or not, Bruce actually joined another band or put another band together. They released an album under the same name. That was called Skunk Works. And it never really developed into the band that he was imagining. And they put the one album out and it disbanded. And for me, he put out 2 albums that I can think of in the late 90s, Accident of Birth and Chemical Wedding. And in my opinion, if you haven't gotten under them, haven't heard those, what the fuck are you waiting for? These are 2 albums that just were never far from my stereo in the late 90s. Couldn't get enough of them. And I would go so far as to say, of all the great albums, metal albums that came out in the 90s, these 2 are amongst some of the very best. Yeah. But all up, while I wasn't blown away by this song, I did like the video a lot. And I may even purchase the 7-inch single. Again, more 7s? Yep. Is it all just a coincidence? Perhaps not. I'm not sure.
Here we go.
Okay.
We'll find out.
But the single disc, so it's coming, it's not going to be available on CD. Okay, so it's only coming out on 7-inch LP version. It includes a full comic and a demo of the song If Eternity Should Fail, which is the opening track on the Book of Souls. Yeah. And this song was actually written in 2014 by Bruce, and it was originally intended for his as of yet at that time, unnamed next solo album, which we now know is the Mandrake Project coming out next year. But apparently, though, the song that was so liked by Steve Harris that he actually begged Bruce to be able to include it on the Book of Souls. So the whole band Maiden, they all got together and they re-recorded it and turned it into a Maiden song, but it wasn't intended to be a Maiden song.
That's cool.
Now the demo version for this is available on a B-side, obviously on the single of Afterglow. Yep. And that's the only way you can get it, unless you're a little bit crazy. You can actually look and find it now on YouTube. I noticed someone has actually added it. So you can go up there and you can listen to this. And it's a pretty cool song. I actually think that the demo is better than what we got on the Book of Souls. The Book of Souls sounds great, but it does sound a little bit overproduced. And you'll be able to hear the differences. Yeah. But yeah, that's just me. I think everyone should go and at least try to find it and listen to it and make their own opinion. But look, now you know the rest of the story. So that's it. Get on the single, support the upcoming album, and I hope everyone out there liked it. So
cool. Nice. Well, let's do the rounds again. Curious as this one's going. It's going to get a thumbs up from me. What about Bell's got a thumbs up and Dave's got the horns up. So we are enjoying this one too. I just wanted to touch on quickly with the pre-song before the lyrical content of that one really impressed me. With this one, it was just cool to get that drama back. And as an opening track, it's going to be interesting to see where that project goes next. Yeah. Michael says, Bruce's new track, very good. Can't wait for the album. It blows the Priest track away hands down. So there we go. There's that whole Priest versus Maiden battle that goes into it. Speaking of, we did that a few years ago now. That Halford versus Dickinson.
We did.
That was a fucking amazing series. Like
that was really great. Because I'm like Maiden over Priest any day, but solo wise, it would have been Halford over Dickinson, except for that shitty industrial album Halford did. That was fucking crap.
I liked that one too. So there you go.
That was shit. Absolutely fucking crap.
Yeah, no, they both got impressive solo careers.
Yeah, Halford would have won if it wasn't for that shitty album.
Yeah, no, it was
what's that shitty? What's the shitty album called? It sounds like I like it.
Two. It's an interesting one.
2WO.
Yeah, it's
fucking crap.
Halford did that.
Yeah, Halford. It was an interesting project. That one. It was in the new metal era. It was
but everything he did was fighting Halford was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just that one album was crap.
I liked it. It was alright.
No, it was shit. Even he said it's shit.
Doesn't matter now. Done is done. Michael said, I noticed Red Rod Maiden's manager on clip credit, so he could be a fairly different deal release-wise compared to the old days. Wow, okay. That could be interesting. That'd be another reason for the crossover with the demo stuff there too. Accident of Birth and Chemical Wedding, fantastic albums. I've enjoyed all of his solo work. They're both incredible albums, those ones. And yeah, Bell, you'll like the Industrial Halford. I'll be betting. So yeah, Industrial Halford is interesting. It's not for everyone. I get that completely, but it is an interesting taste out there.
It's sure as hell as a Fear Factory.
Well, Dave, let's move on to something that I hope you will like, because it's time for my choice of the week, which is Lung with a song called Time. There's reference track as always in the description box and everything else. But yeah, Lung, Melbourne band with a song called Time, allocated to Dave as chosen by me. Latest single from this Melbourne band that was quiet for like a decade. And now they've come back into things. We did one single earlier this year, I think, from memory. We did cover that one. So we're going to go to this one now. And Dave, over to you.
Yeah, I like this band. This band's cool. I saw them opening for Divine Ascension at the Gershwin Room at the SP before the SP became a fucking hipster dive. Almost shit. This song is pretty cool. I like the lyrics. They're really inspirational. Great moderate tempo, quite hypnotic actually. Very cool riff. Nice shift in mood in the middle, and the clean tone section was really good. Yeah, this song's cool. I want to hear more music from this band. I am glad they are back. But if you don't know this band, check them out. Definitely horns up.
Nice. Well, I do have an EP from those many years ago out there as well. So if you like this, you like the previous song, go and check out that previous EP. They've got a few videos.
EP's really good. Really good.
Yeah, Metanoia from memory, I think it's called. But they are just a fantastic band. Look, like I said, they went dark for about 10 years. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad they're back now. We did cover the previous single, but I reckon while I enjoyed the last single, I reckon I love this one more than the last one. This one has something about it that's just riveting. Monster riffs in this one. There's a great hook in the chorus. I love the tone all over it as well, especially in how warm it is. But the guitar and vocals work so well together, which is fantastic in the way it's all put together. There's some nice aggression in the song as well. The contrast between the verse and the chorus is really cool. And that's what sort of makes the song really pop for you, because it's like you've got this melodic section, then it just gets sort of pretty gnarly, which is cool. In that regard, I love how the space was used. You know, it allows the lyrics to shine on this song, which they really do, which is, you know, Dave mentioned that they're pretty, you know, empowering in some respects. They're really good lyrics, and I just enjoyed it. But also there's the change up for what is, you know, meant to be with the solo section, so to speak, is great too. Even though it's just more of a gear change on there, it just fits the vibe and changes things up really wonderfully well. It does set up the closing of the song really nicely. It's just basically a heavy rock track that flirts with metal a bit, and I'm loving what this band have returned with. This is 2 for 2 for me, and if this is a sign of things to come, then fucking bring it on, because I like you, Dave, I want a lot more from these guys sooner rather than later. I'm glad it didn't take 10 years between the last song and this song, so we're making progress. Cool. But yeah, this was fucking great for me. I love it. It's brooding, it's moody, but it just rocks hard, which is cool. It's a cracking tune. Obviously, a massive, massive thumbs up or horns up from me.
They won me over live. I didn't know anything about them when I saw them live.
Yeah, they were a great live band back in the day. Yeah. Impressive as all shit. Yeah. So hopefully they get to do some shows. I know they've been doing some rehearsals and that, so hopefully there are some live shows on the horizon. So we'll keep an eye out. But let's do the rounds here. Everyone else, what did you think of Lung with the song Time? Give us your thoughts. Thumbs up, thumbs down, somewhere in the middle. Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, we got everyone, which is cool. We got it there in the end. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Nothing from the audience. All right, cool. So we'll move on now to. There's only one song left, which is Dave's pick of the week, which is now in the comments and in the description as always. It's Killcode with a song called New Superman, allocated to me as chosen by Dave. This single and video comes from the American bands. Is it third or fourth studio album, Dave?
Fourth, I think.
Fourth, yeah. It's called Life, Death, Rock and Roll is the album. It was released back in January 2023. According to the band, the song and the video expose issues of nationwide loneliness, fear, dividedness, and the actions of an unfortunate and unlikely anti-hero in the context of all those things. For me, it's funny how Dave and I, Bell does the round of assignments. It's just funny how it's just worked out that Dave and I have both sort of done the same as last week, sort of cycling through each other's tracks again. And even more in this regard is Dave and I actually reviewed the album back toward the start of the year, and it's cool how these things sort of play out. It's cool how they released this single only 3 weeks ago, I think it is now. And just continuing to work with the album, which is good to see the band just sort of firing on all cylinders. there's the video for this has a sort of comic style, which is kind of fitting when you take it all into account. Just wanted to quickly touch on that. But the lyrics and the storytelling is the sort of highlight part of this song for me. It does exactly what it's described to. It's got very clever composition around that as well. The little snare hit on the lyric gunshot, that was a really cool touch. It works better in the video, but it works wonderfully just on the audio side of things as well. It's just symptomatic of things they do really well, which is a lot of attention to detail and how they craft their song. So if you follow this band or if you listen to their stuff before, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you like a lot of attention to detail, but songs are still rock and have great hooks in it, you're going to love this band. It's thought-provoking hard rock done really, really well, and it's got heaps of soul. These guys have a cracking collection of songs. I think we've reviewed all but one album of theirs over the years, and this is a really fitting single to release, especially at this point in time, I reckon. I love the mid-song sort of slowdown moment. That brings a sort of twist in the tale, which is kind of fitting, especially on the video side of things, and it sets up things for the close and the solo, which comes into it as well. At its core, this is all sort of really hard rock, but if that's what these guys do, and they do it very, very well. It's got riffs and melodies for days, along with great storytelling. That's really all you need for these guys because it just works. This one's one of the more rocked up tracks on the album. They've got a few ballads, but this one's one of the more rocked up tracks overall, which does a great job. And that's what makes the midsection really stand out in this particular piece of music because of the contrast it brings to how that slows things right down, plays a lot of space, and then they just fucking launch into the song again, which is really cool. I enjoyed going back to this one. It's funny how we did cover it earlier this year, but I reckon over the time since, it's been, 8 months or 10 months since we talked about it, I reckon that I've actually fallen in love with this song in particular more. So I don't remember if it was a standout track at the time, but it definitely is now. So the whole album is a cracking collection of songs. So this song actually on the album stands out for me in a big way now, and I love how well this one just stays with you long after it is fucking gone. So yeah, I enjoy this one quite a bit, Dave. So well done to you. I'm going to give it a thumbs up or a horns up. So let us know what you thought of it and why you picked it.
Yeah, back in January, this and Black Star Riders were the first new albums of the year. I fucking love Killcode. We've been a big fan of this band for pretty much as long as I've been doing the show.
Yep.
And it was cool to bookend the year, but because I didn't know the song had been released as a single and there was no video. And I came across it by mistake on YouTube, like, holy shit. So I picked it for my song. Because I think this band is criminally underrated. You don't get many American bands doing music like this. It just doesn't happen these days. I interviewed the singer in 2014, 2015, and we've actually been Facebook friends ever since. And the day that the album was released, I was listening to it, and he messaged me to say, hey, dude, it's out. Can you guys do a review? I'm like, fuck, man, I'm listening to it right now. He's like, fuck, that's awesome. So, yeah, we reviewed it. But this is actually quite an epic track on this album. It's one of the longer ones. The album is a bit of a step back to the more ballady, laid-back stuff compared to what they usually do, which I thought was really interesting because they're more of a rocky band. But the storytelling throughout this album is fantastic. This song was a standout on the album for me. It starts off as a very straight-up rock track. I remember the first time I heard it, I didn't think it was going to go for 7 minutes. It just starts off like that, and you get this middle section that slows the tempo down with some acoustic guitar, and then it slowly builds back up. And I love those little tempo shifts within music where he like cranks it back up towards the end. The solo is fucking brilliant. It doesn't shred, doesn't need to. It just builds it back up, and you get that energy for the last 2 minutes of the song that goes towards that full. It'd be fantastic live. I think when we reviewed this album, they were talking about a video when I was talking to him, but it wasn't that yet. And I checked out a live video that they did a few years because they had these songs done throughout fucking lockdown and all that shit. But it took ages for them to actually get recorded. But yeah, this is a fantastic song. If you like this, check out the album. They're a really good band, really underrated. 4, 5. This is their 5th album. But yeah, there's some really, really cool tracks on this. So hope people enjoy it.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll do the rounds quickly now. We're going to move on to Killcode, New Superman. Give us your horns up, horns down, thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever way you thought of it. Give us your thoughts, you three that weren't involved. Okay. Jeff, Conrad, Bell. Okay. Love all around. This is good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's a good song. People, please do check it out and give us your thoughts. There we go. All righty. So, while Conrad's out and about now, we're going to do a quick little recap before we get on to our final King of the Riff series for this year. And this is the Build-A-Band series here, so the Power Trio edition. So we started off the first week, we did our 3-piece drummers, where Dave had Mike Portnoy, Bell had Mickey D, Jeff had Neil Peart, and I had Dave Grohl. Conrad chose Stuart Copeland. From all that, Jeff was on top with 50 points, then Dave, Conrad, me, then Bell was at the bottom of the scale there. Just to quickly go back to the beginning of things, and again, thank you to Bell for collating all this information here. Then we had a bit of a break and did 2 last week, and we're going to reveal the results now of how it all sort of played out. We know who did the winning band at the end. So, for the 3-piece bass players that we all chose, Conrad had Doug Pinnick from King's X, Dave had Lemmy from Motorhead, Bell had Billy Sheen from Winery Dogs, Jeff had Bob Daisley from Chicken Shack, and I chose Geddy Lee from Rush. That changed the scoring of things. So I went down to the bottom on 40 points, but Conrad joined me there as well, both on 40. Dave dropped down a little bit to 70. Bell jumped everyone, went to 60, and Jeff went out in front on 90 points. So that was how things started there. So as it stands, after the bass players, Jeff's out in front, 30 points in the lead.
Didn't expect that.
Well, yeah, you did well with Bob Daisley there. Like, you did really well. It was funny because, it was Bell won that round with Billy Sheen. That was the most popular choice there. Then, Jeff, yours was second. Lemmy got third. Geddy Lee got second, and Doug Pinnick came last. So there we go.
Yeah, I figured that would happen.
Yeah.
How many people know Doug Pinnick?
Geddy Lee getting second last. That's fucking criminal.
I know.
Well, that's what happened.
And
Wait for it.
What the hell? Jeez.
Yeah, I know. But I'm taking a beating now because let's do the guitarists, because I'm going to spoiler alert. My guitarist didn't get a single vote. So, you uncultured
that's brutal
out there. It was brutal. I've been handing my ass in the sling. I'm going to go home with my towel to my legs over Christmas.
That's terrible.
So, just to recap.
No.
For the guitarist, I chose Jeff Martin, which got me nothing, so I got 10 points for that. Then we had a tie, actually, between Bell and Jeff. Bell choosing Eric Clapton, Jeff choosing Billy Gibbons. Both of that netted them 25 points apiece. Conrad, you got second place. You got 40 points. Alex Larson and Rush, a lot of love there. And then, of course, Dave chose Jimi Hendrix with the Jimi Hendrix Experience and got full 50 points for that one there, which does shake things up to a degree because I'm still at the bottom. Don't worry about that. I only got 10 points. I remain way down there on 50 points, 30 points behind Conrad, who was on 80. So you got fourth in the end on the trio.
Right.
Then we had Bell coming in third on 85 points, and there was only 5 points splitting first and second. So Jeff, Conrad's bailed. So, Jeff, you came in second with 115. Dave, whenever he gets back here, he'll be happy to know that he won.
Nice.
He did the 3-piece power trio. He built the best band overall. So, Dave got 120 points.
Well done, Dave.
Whenever the fuck he gets back here, how's that for a
I don't know.
where he goes?
Look, I just want to thank everyone who voted for Bob Daisley. Thank you. He is
you did well there, man.
Wow. Yeah.
Back.
Yes, you are back. Good to see you, Conrad. Now, Dave, you missed out all that because you ended up winning the Build a Band Power Trio.
You won.
Yeah, go me. People I picked. Well, I had Portnoy, Lemmy,
enthusiastic,
and
Dave.
Hendrix. Well, yeah.
So you had.
That's the only right answer.
You had Mike Portnoy, you had Lemmy Kilmister, and you had Jimi Hendrix. And Jimi Hendrix put you over the top. You got 50 points on the last round.
How can you not want those three in a power trio? That sounds fucking awesome.
I get it.
When you read that like that, it's a winning
Yeah.
combo for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
But that's how it worked out. We had a lot of fun with that. We'll do different
I
things.
just picture how happy Portnoy would be to play with those two guys.
That would be pretty fucking cool, actually.
Yeah.
That would be.
Like he'd be grinning like a little boy. Like, I'm playing with Lemmy, I'm playing with Hendrix. Portnoy's a massive fucking music
You'd be
fan.
happy in the room. You'd be happy to breathe the same air. Like,
did you ever see those videos Portnoy made of him going through his vinyl collection?
Yeah, I did. Quite a collection. Yeah.
What a collection!
That'd be cool. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's on YouTube somewhere, Bell.
Yeah,
He's
just there talking to the camera, and he's got this row upon row of fucking albums.
It was like five or six different ones. It was like A to D, and it was like 15 minutes each. Just him flicking through, pulling shit out. Wow,
that's cool.
He's like serious OCD. He's got like music magazines every fucking year for like decades.
He's my favorite living drummer, without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That concludes the power trio aspect side of things there, which is nicely done. Now we move on to the King of the Riff. I'm going to quickly check comments here. There we go. Michael says, like this track, interested to listen to the album. That's back to Killcode there for a second. And Lee says, hope you don't raise the suspicion of the fuzz, Conrad. You look a bit suspect, my friend. So there we go. With the,
Fuzz is on the bus right now, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Got the
Can you show us? Can you show us?
transport buzz.
Oh,
Transport
Oh,
buzz.
Wow, there we go.
Transport
This is
buzz.
a trip now.
Transport buzz are on the bus. I'm just getting my
Bullshit,
ticket,
sorry.
my
Yeah,
card
you do that,
examined.
Conrad. It's all good, mate.
I want to see him
Alright.
get kicked off. That'd be good.
That'd be
Thanks, cheers.
that's a live
That
stream.
ticket's not out. It
Oh,
expired
wow.
last year. Yeah.
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 Oh, last one of the year. Got to do something outrageous, don't we? Alrighty. So we are right now into the finale moment of doing our King of the Riff, the debut album series. It's the Battle Royale. We're going to do 3 rounds of this one. Vinny's gone. Sorry, it's like an episode of Mission Impossible. So there we go.
Yeah.
But so far we've gone through a whole bunch of rounds. We've done 6 rounds to this point. We're going to do the last 3 rounds here tonight of debut albums, King of the Riff, just to recap everything there for everyone. The 4 bands we have remaining in our side of the tree are Van Halen, Metallica, Dio, and Pearl Jam. For the audience side of things, I've got to scroll down a bit here. The audience tree had the last 4 were Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne,
I'm on a bus.
Dio, and Iron Maiden. So that was the final 4 for the audience side of things, which is very different to our tree, obviously, which is going to be interesting to see how things play out as we move along. So for round 7, as we go into things now for us here, now obviously the audience votes have been. Lee says, "I hope you have a valid oyster pass," whatever the hell that means.
That's what that's what they were just inspecting.
Well, there you go. So you have that. Well done.
Yeah.
So we are going to do now for round 7 for us. It is time to go to Van Halen versus Metallica. So we got Kill 'Em All versus Van Halen. One is the first seed. The other one is the 4th seed. So it's good that they've come through to this point of the battle. And I've already pre-drawn the order we're going to do things in. And I'm going to go first on this one. And for me, this battle in particular for me is one of the hardest ones to go through. We've tried to cut these things down a bit. We're trying to make these reviews a bit shorter overall, sort of, give you 5 reasons why is the theme here for it. Not going to really give 5 reasons why per se, but I'm going to get to the point pretty quickly here. It's hard. There are pros and cons on both albums, but what this all comes down to me is that they both age incredibly well. They both have amazing solos on them. One never ever fatigues me. The other one doesn't fatigue me per se, but there's one that if you feel which one you're going to reach for first more often, there is one that definitely is up there for me in that regard. So I'm going to have to take a band that felt a little bit more mature at the time versus one that was raw and full of energy, which I love to bits, but I'm going to go with Van Halen on this one for me. Just simply because I just felt like it just had a bit more to it all in all. I know a few people may not agree with that, and that's fine, but I'm going to go with Van Halen in this particular round just to kick us off. Dave, over to you.
Yeah, Eddie Van Halen's obviously a better guitarist than Kurt Hammett. It's not all about the solos, though. I can't believe I said that. It's about the overall songs. And all the songs on Kill 'Em All are better than anything on Van Halen. Production on Van Halen's obviously better. I don't give a fuck. Kill 'Em All I can listen to from start to finish, over and over, day after day, for fucking decades. Van Halen 1, I'll probably listen to the first 5 songs, and that's it. James Hetfield's a much better frontman than David Lee Roth. He's a fucking wanker.
Oh, get real.
Crazy.
Wow. Depends what you're looking for. So that's another one for Metallica. So we are now all square. In that context, Belle, it's over to you.
I only have 3 very short points, but it doesn't really matter because it's just about picking an album, right? I'm choosing Metallica because I like all the songs on it, whereas I don't like all the songs on Van Halen's album. I prefer it stylistically. I just like that style of music. I like thrash over. I don't even know what you'd class that album as. I mean, it's great, but anyway, I just prefer that genre. And Kill 'Em All does not have David Lee Roth on it.
Awesome,
I
Mel.
knew. And the funny thing is, I knew it'd go this way after Bell's thoughts. I remember Bell's review last time Van Halen got in the mix. I knew which way Bell was going to lean on this one. So
yeah, that could well just be my only reason I'd
No.
yeah. So Metallica for me.
Cool. Alrighty, let's see if now it's down to if Metallica get another one, it's over. Otherwise, we continue on. Oh, we're going to continue on. But Conrad, you have the floor now. Which way are you going to go with this one?
This is really difficult for me because this is Van Halen was the band that got me into heavy metal. That was the band that I first gravitated towards. First band I heard that was a heavy metal band. It was just like as a 10-year-old kid, I was just like, I love this. And I love David Lee Roth. I think he's amazing. I saw him on the Skyscraper tour. And it's one of the best concerts I've ever seen. It's brilliant.
Wow.
So, and of course, Eddie Van Halen totally rechanged the way we hear guitar. No one had played like that till he came along. So this is very, very hard because set the precedent for a lot of other people. As also did Mustaine as well for Kill 'Em All. So, and those solos on Kill 'Em All are Mustaine solos. And it's his songwriting. So I've got to lean with Kill 'Em All because because it's Mustaine. So there you go.
Okay.
Only just though, it only just gets it by a bee's dick. You know.
So there we go.
Because I love Van Halen as well. So yeah.
Wow. So Metallica have won the day. But Jeff, we do, but we have to hear from you, Jeff.
It's probably the hardest.
It is a hard
choice I've had to make.
Does it really matter now? No.
Yes,
look,
please, yeah.
So when you initially, you wanted to kind of
shorten these up,
distill things. That's right. I did write something, so I'm just going to read what the fuck I wrote.
Go for it.
So look. And I tried to keep it in as short as I possibly can. I promise there's no fucking essay. So, look, both of these albums changed music. There's no question. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, first, Van Halen came out in '78 with this guitar-themed album. But then Metallica defined the genre with their release that would also pave the way for probably, I mean, exaggeration, but millions of bands, certainly millions of artists and musicians to follow. Both of the albums changed. They had like a mood that, Van Halen is a very happy album. I think it's a very happy album. It's upbeat in that. And it focuses on, guitar and riffing and the vocal prowess of David Lee Roth. Kill 'Em All, of course, is an album full of high energy, angry music at times that it almost and it emotes a rage in the listener. A cacophony of blistering sounds and whatnot that almost sound like they were invented, like they didn't exist before this album came out. And of course, that's not true, but that's the illusion that Metallica brought with it. And the energy is just there. And it really is easy to see why, when you think about the energy from this album and albums that followed in the genre, why headbanging became such a thing, because the energy, the outlet for that energy, it had to come out somewhere. And it was either going to come out in violence or something. And thankfully it doesn't. It comes out, the mosh pit, the headbanging, all that. We can thank probably from this album, really. So I think it's fair to say that both albums are worthy of moving on to the next round. After all, we're at the bitter end of this battle. One of these albums, one of these bands is going to be crowned King of the Riff here tonight. There's no question about it. For the last time in 2023. So I think for me, I did say I was going to keep this short, but it is relatively short considering.
Doing well.
I think that it's difficult to suggest that either of these albums didn't deliver on everything that it was promised to put out. And both, of course, are celebrated by the massive fans. 40 years later, at least 40 years, both are still celebrated as landmark albums in each of these bands' careers. But one album for me set the stage for an entire genre that was to follow. Van Halen It's a great rock album, but it didn't define a genre. And for me, that's why Kill 'Em All gets my vote.
Wow. There we go. So it's
Nice.
4-1. I'm
4-1.
the kiss of death again. So there we go. All right.
Can I have 1 minute? Can I have 1 minute? Okay, I just want to clear up a misconception. I read this in a guitar magazine with Kirk Hammett, and I have 2 bootlegs here from 1982 with Dave Mustaine. Okay?
Yeah.
Kirk Hammett, when he recorded Kill 'Em All, took the first 2 bars of Dave Mustaine's solos and did the familiarity with what people knew when they were performing live, and then wrote his own complete solos. So they're not Dave Mustaine solos. They're
They're
Kirk
not.
Hammett
Oh.
solos. They're drastically different. Okay, it's really cool
Okay.
to check these out. Okay, because
All right.
I
I'd
gotta
like to
say,
hear that. I'd like to hear
Mustaine
that, yeah.
solos over those songs that are familiar are fucking awesome. But Kirk's idea was to take the first 2 bars and then go off into a different place.
Cool.
So
Right.
I thought that was
Okay.
cool. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
No, that's
no,
cool.
awesome.
I'd like to hear those original
Yeah,
things.
I've got a cool old. I've got a different bootleg to the one that Dave's got there. I've got an old.
Yeah.
bootleg
I don't have
to
these
one.
like that.
They are.
And
they are
those
different.
old fucking bootlegs are fantastic. The energy, just,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you can't.
with Mustaine in Metallica, that was fucking great.
Just imagine
Yeah.
if that had actually continued. If they'd have managed to fucking
Yeah.
keep that together.
If
Wow.
no one's seen it,
Great
it's on
band.
YouTube. But the 30th anniversary, they got Mustaine on stage.
That was so cool.
Yeah, I
him
did.
and
I
Kirk
saw
playing
that.
together, and they
That
did
was-
Phantom Lord, trading vocals
saw that.
between Hetfield and Mustaine. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
That was in Bulgaria, wasn't it? Wasn't that the
No,
big
no.
four thing?
I know
No.
they did
No,
4
no.
shows,
Yeah,
shows for the fan club,
Yeah.
and
That was
different set
And they
lists
got up
each
and-
night. They had fucking King Diamond on stage. They had Geezer Butler and Ozzy. They had it was
Lloyd,
Ron McGovern
Lloyd
came out.
Lloyd Grant. got
Yeah,
up,
Lloyd Grant was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
Lloyd
great
Grant
show.
was
out there.
Each night they did a different instrumental because they got 4 instrumentals. They did
Yeah.
one of the 4 songs from the Beyond Magnetic. They debuted them. But
Yeah.
fucking great 4
That's
shows.
great.
I actually saw Megadeth support Metallica at the Milton Keynes Bowl in '93.
Fucking hell.
93. That was
Wow.
awesome. It was
That would
awesome.
have been a
Fucking
bitter pill
cool.
for Megadeth to swallow.
It was an interesting
Yeah.
day. It was an,
Just
yeah, they didn't get
to
the
be there, though,
they didn't
for
get the
that.
sound. They didn't get the
Yeah.
sound that Metallica got. I tell you that much. They didn't get the
Yeah,
same
well.
level of sound. No.
That wouldn't happen.
That would be still a good show though. That would have been a great.
Oh, it was
show.
a killer gig. It was a killer
Yeah.
gig. It was Diamond Head the Almighty. It was supposed to be Alice in Chains, but it was Diamond Head the
Yeah.
Almighty Megadeth Metallica.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane.
Fuck.
All right. Let's get
Fans
some
got
more
their money
info
worth
to go to the
on
next
that
round. Lee chimed in to say, "Where's the love for DLR? Collectively, Kill 'Em All is a greater whole, despite like Conrad, Van Halen, and Kiss Me My Gateway Drug to the Devil's Music." So there we go. There's some more love for both of them, though. But Tim has gone. Van Halen wins this every day of the week. You need to forget about what the band did after they released their debut album versus album. Van Halen wins for mine. So there we go.
Sorry, dude, we're comparing debut albums. That's it, not the career, the album.
Yeah. No, but they
That's
said
the
we need to
criteria.
forget. You need to forget what they did after that. He's saying it's album
Yep.
versus album, and he still gives it to Van Halen. So
Oh, well.
that's where
Fair
that's,
enough, fair enough.
I did it. So there we go. Tim and I are on the same page at least. So there we go.
Yeah.
All right. So we have round 7 one and done. Timing on to round 8, which is Dio Holy Diver versus Pearl Jam. This is Dave's round from hell. This one.
This is
the 10th seed going up against the 6th seed. So the Holy Dive was a 10th seed. It's actually done really well to keep going all the way through to this point. But I'm going to quickly pop some reference tracks into the description, into the comments as always, and quickly move on because we have. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I was backing you in there, Tim. Don't worry. But no, so we're going to move on now to Dio Holy Diver versus Pearl Jam.
the fuck was that?
I don't know. But anyway, so yes, there we go. Just what the hell have I done to myself here? I've just lost my notes here for a moment. Give me a second. Sorry, people. I'm just gonna jump back in here with 10. Sorry, with Pearl Jam 10, which is the reference in there. So just for everyone having the right context. But yeah, so it's Dio Holy Diver, Pearl Jam 10. The context of this is all sorts of fun and games. As always, we're going to go through and do a quick little roundup. This time round, though, the order is a bit different. Belle, we're going to start with you. Where do you land on this one?
This will be quick again.
Yep.
3 very short points. All right, Dio. Dio wins it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just prefer Dio's vocals over over Eddie Vedder's. and the songwriting. I prefer that too. But like, I'll reiterate. I was surprised how much I loved Pearl Jam's album upon listening to it again all these years later. But it doesn't match the songs on Holy Diver for me. And I will put a Dio album on over a Pearl Jam album. Well, specifically this over 10, which is what counts here. Generally, I will anyway, but these two I'll definitely put on Holy Diver. So it was a no-brainer for me. I feel bad for Pearl Jam. They made it this far, but and I rate that album highly. But yeah, it can't win over Dio. I love Dio.
Yeah, it can't win over fucking Iron Maiden, and it did, and I still feeling the
absolutely can.
You'll get your moment.
I don't fucking get about the day.
That fucking hurt. I spent fucking days thinking about that.
Well,
doesn't matter. It's done.
Wow.
Yeah,
you're done.
I honestly don't think I can listen to the Iron Maiden again because it's always going to be known as the album that lost to Pearl Jam.
Well,
but then that's not given the.
You
You gotta
like
give
it?
Maiden the. You can't do that.
No, I just can't fucking deal with it.
I think you will love it.
God.
You'll get back to it. Don't worry, David. Now,
No,
I
I
have one
I
note
really.
down. I'm pretty sure I know which way this is going, but David, it's your call now. You have the floor.
My call. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last time we did Pearl Jam, I almost went back to listen to it again, but I couldn't do it to myself. I was curious though, because Belle mentioned the solos. And in all honesty, I can't remember a fucking note of a solo in any of those songs, even though Jeremy, Alive, and Even Flow have been stuck in my head for 30 years. You just know those songs. But I didn't know Pearl Jam did solos. They're so fucking understated. It's like aimless noodling with no destination in mind. It's shit. You know, while I'm not happy about it, I do have those songs stuck in my head. It's hard not to. They are memorable songs. The rest of the album, not at all. I know people prefer less is more. This is next to nothing. I actually did listen to Jeremy yesterday, and then Oceans came on, and I almost fell asleep. That song is so fucking boring. In fact, side 2 is so fucking boring. So obviously Dio has much better solos and better guitar playing overall. The Pearl Jam, okay, Dio is a much better singer. His range and tone is way, way better than any better. And he is much, much easier to listen to. The Pearl Jam debut is a genuine debut. They were all young guys. Okay, a bunch of fucking dingleberries, but still a bunch of young guys.
Okay, nice, well done.
Theo had 10 years experience leading up to it. So honestly, this isn't a real fair matchup. You got a 10 years experience and a bunch of young guys that were really passionate and interested in creating something special.
I mean, you gotta count years. It's
I can easily listen to Dio over and over and enjoy the music and the singing, but ultimately, I take very little away after listening to the album in terms of storytelling and themes. It does nothing for me. Whereas the emotive impact of songs like Jeremy, Alive, and Even Flow is undeniable. Like it or not, those songs, they're stuck in my head. Hear them once, and they kind of leave an impact. For those two reasons alone, I'm actually going to vote for depression and boredom, and I'm going to give the win to Pearl Jam.
Wow.
What
There's the heel turn.
fuck?
Wow.
Oh my
If
God.
Pearl Jam can beat fucking Iron Maiden, they can beat fucking Dio.
That's actually a fair point.
Logically, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, Jeff, the floor is yours.
Okay, I did write this one a little bit, but it's not long. I promise. Okay, I'm still keeping to the new way of doing things. So look, I'll just read what I wrote. Going over old ground is never easy. I've been on the record stating my love for Dio and what he did in every aspect of his rock and metal career. But this battle is not about that. This is about one small portion of what he put out. And to be fair, in the span of Dio's illustrious solo career, I don't think that Holy Diver is his best album. And I've went on the record saying that for me, The Last in Line is where it should be. You know, the follow-up to this was better. And I think because he had more time to realize what he fucked up with on, not that he fucked up, but just to improve upon what he'd put out.
Improve, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but that is another story completely. So I don't think there can be any denying that Holy Diver was an important album in his career. But on its own, I don't think it can be considered a masterpiece, although many would argue, obviously, against that. And, I wouldn't necessarily argue against those people who say that it is. And then there's Pearl Jam. Now, I've also went on the record to state how I despise this fucking album. I think there are a few songs that are good, but mostly it's like spending time visiting a morgue and then trying to justify the time spent was well time spent. I don't think it was.
I agree, man, 100%.
Yeah. So look, I just can't do it. And so like spending time in a morgue, it's something that I don't want to do, dead or alive. And
I'm talking to your fucking granddad and trying to fake interest.
Yeah. So look, for me, listening to this album had a similar effect upon me. I want to get away from it as quickly as fucking possible.
Wow.
But outside of the few songs that I can tolerate, Jeremy, Alive, Once, the album itself, Even Flow, the album is a massive, outside of that, it really
boring.
Boring, depressing.
You voted for
absolute crap.
But that's okay. He's look.
That.
But I always have to tell the truth. So I think it's fair to say that I actually hate this album. I really do.
I do
and whenever possible, I hate repeating myself.
That's where,
I don't like to repeat myself. And so, but I think what I said last time when I reviewed this album, it still holds true, even though I'm going to repeat what I said. I honestly, I think that this album is music to slit your wrists to. I think it's a depressive.
I agree because I felt that way when I was a teenager.
Look, I'm not playing down that's a serious issue, but this is a depressing album. And I think outside of the few songs that I've mentioned, outside of that, there's a collection of songs that just seem like filler to me, and they don't seem like great songs that I would go, because a lot of albums, the deep cuts are the gems.
Cuts.
Deep cuts. Oh, nice one, Dave. I like that. Look,
classy,
but
classy.
There's one thing that I hate more than anything else than repeating myself is having to live up to my own escapable logic. So Pearl Jam 10, it changed the world musically. Even if I think it was more of a linchpin of an entire movement than a great musical album in its own right, I might not like it, but I would be a fool to recognize that it didn't do this at the very least. Holy Diver, what an album, an extremely important album in the career of Ronnie James Dio. Pearl Jam's 10 once hold up against Dio's Holy Diver. In this light, there's no comparison. It may not be my personal choice, but credit where credit's due, and therefore Pearl Jam's 10 is the more important album and gets my win for this round.
Wow.
I'm not the only one. Wow. Fucking wow. You know what? You know what it is? Don't piss off Iron Maiden fans.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
All right.
Fuck.
Here we go.
Wow.
Well, I get to go next, which who the fuck knows where this is going to go next?
Don't fuck with Maiden fans. That's what it is.
Yeah. The funny thing is that, I'm like Bell. Like, going back and revisiting the album 10, you realize just how fucking stunningly good it actually is. And out of the 4 final albums, now, just to be out of the 4 final albums, I would argue that 10 has the best mix out of all 4 of these finals.
Mix.
Just on studio execution, it has the best mix. That doesn't. I'm not done yet, Dave.
It's true.
It's just that it's an
I'm trying to behave.
I know.
You're
doing well there. The thing is that and that's where, in the context of this battle, if you're going to go on studio mastery, there's one that sounds fantastic today, whereas Dio, by comparison, great songs, but the mix doesn't hold up anywhere near as well as what, and that's, years apart and all that kind of stuff. I get the reasons why, but at the same time, you're just going apples and apples here. Okay, what's the case? I loved the performances and the writing across 10. I think it's a really solid album from beginning to end. But the thing is, you can say the same thing about Dio, and I would actually say that Dave is probably correct in Dio's range and vocal prowess is better than Eddie Vedder's. I think.
Yeah.
There's no denying that, I don't think. And I'll also argue that when it comes in terms of, talking about solos and that, you definitely get the much, much better solos on Holy Diver, even though they're not present in the mix much, they'll get those balances there too. So, there are pros and cons to both of these ones. They both have big highlight songs, big fucking performances all over it. Everyone's on. Like, there's no dud moments on the albums per se. Where this one was decided for me was that I felt that one got a little bit self-indulgent compared to the other one, just in terms of listening to an album overall from beginning to end. And even though it's a clever little trick to begin and close the album with the same little melodic thing with what 10 did, my vote's going to go actually to Dio this time around, because even though I respect and admire what Pearl Jam did with their impact, again, it comes down to the feeling and the depth. And I could even argue, there's counterpoints. Both sides lyrically have their pros and cons and that kind of thing as well. We've gone over those ones in recent weeks. But for me, I just think that overall, Dio, the way it makes you feel when you're listening to it, the way it's a more lean album, didn't have as much sort of understand what the impact was, but at the same time, just in terms of craft for me, I just think that the songs overall and the presentation overall is still a stronger release than what Pearl Jam did. Even though I love the Pearl Jam album, I just don't think it has quite enough to beat what Dio did with Holy Diver for me on that context. So it's a tie.
Weird.
And Conrad's gone.
We're in the upside down.
Bell sounds like me last week.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. These
when
hated it, yet they're voting for it tonight.
I still don't like it,
Dio.
but I voted.
I
And
fucking
then
hate
you and
Pearl
I-
Jam.
Like, it just
Yeah, I
makes
know.
no sense.
It makes logical sense.
We're playing reverse.
Seriously, if Pearl Jam can beat Iron Maiden, they can beat Dio. And when my point being that Pearl Jam has more emotive impact with their storytelling
I
than
can
Dio.
tell you right now, we're not going to do this for long, but I'm going to tell you right now, Dave, that if it was Dio versus Iron Maiden, I'm still going Dio. Like, that's not even a contest.
Fuck
Not even
that.
a contest to me. That's where I'm going.
I probably would go Dio as well in that battle.
I sure as hell wouldn't.
Yeah,
No way.
I know.
I would, for sure.
You'd go which way, Bell?
Yeah, and it's unfair
Dio.
because Dio's got 10 years advantage over Iron Maiden.
I get that. I understand that, but you can't take that.
Going.
I just think that
It's
is.
still-
I understand the point, but there's still like you compare that to things like what Pearl Jam did with 10, even though it's a debut album. I think that is comparable class.
I think the songs on Iron Maiden are way better than the songs on fucking Dio and Pearl Jam.
You might like what's
No,
coming up in a
I
minute, but
disagree.
Conrad, we need you because we're on a tie break
Okay.
now. So we need you to pick the winner. It's Dio versus Pearl Jam, and we're a tie. So it's over to you.
Well, no surprises where I'm going on this one. No, it's got to be Dio, Holy Diver, definitely. The songwriting is splendid, superb songwriting. And it's just more my style. These are very different stylistically. Bands, incredibly different bands stylistically. So, but yeah, songwriting wise, I think it goes to Dio. Musicianship as well. People like Vivian Campbell and Vinny Appice, has to be. So the songwriting is just much better. I think it's going to be Dio. Holy Diver.
Cool.
Sure.
Well, we have our battle for the finale chosen in a moment. So we'll get to it in a second, but just so everyone has a moment to compose their thoughts here, it is
This is hard.
Metallica versus Dio. That's where we've got to go next.
Tell you what,
So
what a
Oh,
finish.
God.
it's a hell of a finish.
Ow.
So have a moment, compose your thoughts. You're going to want those thoughts. Because what I'm going to quickly
I'm
do
good to
now.
go.
What I'm going to quickly do here is I'm going to recap what the audience rounds were. So you get a minute to think about things. So I'm going to go through what the audience did. So get a second to compose yourself while I go through what the audience gave us to work with. So the audience had a different tree to what we were doing. Actually, before I get to this, I might just check the comments. I should do that. Hey, Michael says, Dio, I'm happy. Pearl Jam, I feel depressed all of a sudden. That's there is a point to that.
I agree. I voted for Pearl Jam, and I agree with that statement.
I know. Yeah. But then Guy in Denmark says, greetings all. Good to see you. I know it's frozen over there. Hopefully keeping as warm as you can. So good to see you here with us tonight. Nicole had a good chuckle at Dingleberries. So there we go.
Right.
Michael says, Dave, vote for anger, not music. Classic, no Pearl Jam here, only hate. So there we go. But Lee says, McCready is a great guitarist. Gossard is no Slash either. His solo work in Mad Season is exemplary. There is
no, he's not a fucking Slash. I don't even recall him playing his solo at all. Where's Slash? There's a million solos in my fucking head.
Slouch, not Slash.
Slash. Did I say what? What did I say?
You said Slash.
Slash.
Yeah. Slouch. The word was Slouch, and you confused it with Slash. So
don't confuse me, man.
He's definitely not a Slash, but he's not Slash.
No, he's not. He's not even a fucking guitar player.
Anyway,
come on.
That's enough. All right. Lee also says, Jeff, I prefer the Andrew Dice Clay analogy, like masturbating with a cheese grater. Slightly amusing, but mostly painful. Warning: don't try it at home, kids.
Yeah.
Man, when did you turn to Vinny? Dude.
Yeah.
Here we go.
With you?
I don't know. There's a lot. Well, we are the catch cry for the misfits of the world. Vinny says, speaking of misfits, Dio all day. He had never been a fan of Pearl Jam's drool Metallica over Dio. So there we go. So that's where. Vinny's
dude, there's a reason we're friends and we haven't even met.
I know. Well, don't spoil it yet, Dave. Got to give it a second.
It's obvious, man.
I wonder which.
I know.
Shit.
But Michael says, I'm depressed mainly that Pearl Jam is so popular, but then general mass is what can you say? Well, yes.
I know. I don't fucking get it.
All right.
And
Well,
I voted for them.
Speaking of the masses, well, you'll be happy they didn't win anyway. And speaking of the masses,
I know. I'm happy. Either way, I'm happy.
Let's move on to the audience poll of this because the audience had a different treat. I did the comments. Now we're going to go to the audience poll here. So for round 7, the audience they were left with Van Halen going up against Blizzard of Oz from Ozzy Osbourne. We'd eliminated Ozzy Osbourne that week, but then it got through to this point. That one was a relatively close battle, not ridiculously so, but relatively close battle. It went to Van Halen in the end. So Van Halen beat up Blizzard of Oz. I don't think there's too much disagreement on that one as a general rule.
Because Ozzy had 10 years experience, so I'm happy Van Halen got through.
Okay. Well, next up was Holy Diver from Dio going up against Iron Maiden. Dave, this will be where you want to pay attention because this one was actually a really close battle between the audience. I found that one to be surprisingly close, to be honest, considering how things have played out. But it ended up it was a 5-point difference in the end, and it went to Iron Maiden. So Iron Maiden got the win.
Yes, the audience is right.
Poll.
Yes.
So
audience is
this is cool. It's interesting. That set up a really interesting finale. That set up a finale.
I'm liking the audience all of a sudden.
That set up a finale between
all of a
Van
sudden.
Halen and
I'm just fucking with you people. I love you all.
But that sets up the finale was Van Halen versus Iron Maiden. Self-titled albums, both debuts. That's where it was. And this was surprisingly
actually Van Halen against Iron Maiden, both actual debuts. No 10 years experience beforehand. Yeah. This is a cool battle. This is what I like. So
quick 3-second, yes, which one are you going for? Just the band. Are you going for Van Halen or Iron Maiden, Dave, on that battle?
Maiden.
Okay.
I'll listen to the whole album from start to finish. Van Halen, first 5 songs.
Cool. Jeff?
In that battle?
Yep.
Maiden.
Okay, cool. All right. Belle, do I need to ask or?
No, you don't need to. Have a guess.
Maiden for you?
Yes.
Yep. Which means I'm going to be the outlier. I'm going to go with Van Halen definitely on that one.
The boy loves Van Halen.
I do, but that's what it is. But that really is kind of representative of the way it and Bell.
The fucking Maiden album is fantastic. I can't believe it got voted out so early. I'm really hurt about that.
I'm not a fan of it, Dave. I'm not a big fan of it. It's okay.
Yeah. You've seen the early video footage of those clubs that they played. That's exactly the energy that you get on that album. It's a fucking timestamp there.
Yeah, but you're just talking about that. But it's also there's a delivery aspect.
Conrad, can you mute yourself if you're not talking, please? It's so loud.
Yeah.
Will do.
Thanks, mate.
I can't hear Andrew talk.
No. It's but yeah, no. I was just saying, Conrad, before I'll get you to weigh in on this one too, because the audience choice, their finale, came down to Van Halen versus Iron Maiden. So it's actually curious because I'm the only one here so far that's gone for Van Halen over Iron Maiden debut album. But Conrad, a quick second for your thoughts on which album, just out of those two for the audience battle, which one would you have gone with if that was a battle presented to us?
If that was a battle, I would have gone with Van Halen.
There you go. So it would have been 2 versus 3. But in the end, we all agreed as a panel overall with what the audience chose, and it
Wow.
was a one-way street. It was Iron Maiden romped it in. So Iron Maiden won the audience tree, which will set up an interesting battle. I'm going to use it as a post when I can post again. The audience versus us kind of thing is which way the tree went. It'll be a final little thing there to see which way it goes. All right,
Hey,
which brings us
I
to...
got a quick question for the audience. I know we excluded Appetite for Destruction, but after last week, I'm curious: Appetite for Destruction or Skid Row?
Okay.
Debut.
Oh yeah,
Anyone?
Let me know.
Easy.
Okay.
I'm curious.
I'd take Appetite.
I take Appetite.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
well.
wouldn't? Come on.
Yeah.
Me.
Wow, you take
You
Skid
would
Row
take
and
what?
Appetite.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
This is not the
No,
real
I was
Dave.
thinking about
He's
during
been-
the week.
He's been
There's
taken
a
over
couple.
by a
There's a
body
couple of
snatcher.
tracks. There's a couple of tracks on Appetite for Destruction that don't match the caliber of everything else. They're like down here.
Wow.
Whereas Skid Row, there's not a fucking filler on there.
All right.
There's
Well,
no
we'll
filler
I
on
would
Appetite.
actually
What's the
take
filler
Skid
on
Row. I would
Appetite?
take Skid Row's debut over Appetite. And I
Okay,
think
well,
if Skid Row had been released since '87 and Appetite for Destruction had been released in '89, knowing that the '90s is just a fucking few years away, I think Skid Row could have been a bigger band than Guns N' Roses.
well,
I don't
interesting
think
concept.
so, but
I'm going to leave
Yeah.
that pinned, though, because
Respectfully, I disagree.
yeah.
we're going to pin
Yeah.
that.
Hey,
All right.
GNR fanboy. I brought it up. Okay, I shut up.
I'm going to use the mute button. Just so everyone knows I'm going to start using it.
No,
Yeah.
Um,
Put a big M on the screen.
just everyone. I'll just talk myself. But no, what do we got here? So
Wow.
just quickly, Maiden over. Sorry, Vinny said Maiden over Van Halen for debut albums. Although if Hagar was vocalist from the outset, that's an interesting battle as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nicole says Conrad's on the Ghost train. There's a bit going on there, but Nicole agrees with Dave. Skid Row, but Rowan says Appetite. Vinny says Appetite for Destruction. End to end all rounder, but I'd take Skid Row for overall impact. Okay, interesting there
Yeah.
as well. So the interesting conversation.
Yeah.
But you guys can go nuts in the comments. We're going to get to our final round now. We're going to decide our King of the Riff winner from our side of things is on the audience. For the audience was Iron Maiden. For us now, it comes down to Metallica versus Dio. That's where we've come down to. Jeff. No, sorry. Who have I got first? I've got Conrad first on this one. So Conrad, if you're with us. Otherwise, I will move on to the next person and get Conrad back at some point if Conrad is there. It's an interesting frozen frame we've got there for a moment. All right, let's
Yes,
put a
time
pin in
to
that
go.
one for a second. Dave, you get to start us off. Your thoughts on this one, Metallica versus Dio. Which way are you going?
Come on.
I know.
Metallica have much better songs, much better everything. Maybe not vocals, but who gives a fuck? It's not about technical ability. It's about passion, vocals. It's about passion, storytelling, lyrics. Fucking Metallica just do everything better. Metallica. Plus, they're a genuine debut, not 10 years experience beforehand. But it's fucking Metallica, obviously. And they could play any of these songs live and people would lose their shit 40 fucking years after the fact. Metallica, man.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, that's one down. We'll wait for Conrad to come back in. In the meantime, Belle, which way are you going? This one, Metallica?
I want to do this. I don't
You
want
have
to do
to.
this, and I genuinely, I
Do
could
you know
just
what would be a
run
cool
away.
battle?
I'm just gonna close my laptop.
Sorry, Belle. I hate to interrupt. I'm trying to behave, but another one for the audience. Iron Maiden's debut versus Metallica. That would have been a cool fucking battle. But we fucked it up, didn't we?
If that ends up being the case, I'm gonna whatever works out tonight here. I'm gonna put the audience choice versus our choice. See who got it right, kind of thing in the audience poll.
Maiden versus Metallica. So,
Interesting. But Belle,
Good,
you have the
yeah.
floor. You had a minute there to
No,
think. Now you got to really get into it.
I wasn't thinking. Shit. I don't. Can't we go to Jeff? Jeff, do
tough.
you know who you're choosing? Do you know who you're choosing?
Yeah, I do.
Andrew, can you give
All
me
right,
another
Jeff,
minute?
you go. Then give Belle another second.
Sure.
Make it a marathon
No, yeah.
deliberation.
No, I
please.
You gotta
don't
make
think
a
I can.
decision.
I don't think. I mean, I'd love to, but I don't think I can. Look,
Oh, God.
I absolutely adore Dio and everything that he did, and I think that Dio was. I would be lying if I just put up against, Pearl Jam and Dio, and fucking Pearl Jam wins. So, because it was cultural impact. It's what it did. I don't think the Dio album was a cultural impact outside of the Dio sphere.
Mm.
Whereas Metallica changed the fucking world.
They did. They really fucking did.
So it has to be Metallica. I would be lying if it didn't go with Metallica.
Yep. All right.
And yeah, I'll piss people off by saying this, but I agree. Metallica were bigger than the fucking Beatles.
Well,
Ooh, I
maybe
just
in
upset
today's
people.
terms. No. That's all right. We'll
No.
put a pin in that one too, Dave. All right, Belle, you've had a second. Time to
Yeah,
go.
I know. All right, I have made a decision. And look, the thing is, I agree with all the points except Metallica being bigger than the Beatles. I mean, fucking, are you kidding? But that's pinned, right? So
Yeah,
That's pinned. Pin it.
that's not the point here.
Yep.
And yes, I understand that Dio had already, years experience behind him, but it was it's a debut album. It was chosen. It made the top 10 list.
Yeah.
It is, for all intents and purposes, a debut album.
The audience put it together. Yep.
Yeah.
The audience is listening, Belle.
Comes down to, what do you reach for? What do you reach for? I reach for Dio.
Wow.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go with Holy Diver.
Okay.
It's just
Nice.
personal taste. I
Yeah.
love Metallica.
That's
I love
okay.
Kill 'Em All.
That's what it's about.
But I will reach for Holy Diver over Kill 'Em All. So
Yep. Cool.
came down to.
Well, we're hoping to get Conrad back. He's on the subway or the tube over there, so it's a bit tricky at the moment.
Honestly, I don't know which way he would go.
Might be underground.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure which way he'd go.
I
either.
reckon Conrad goes Dio.
I don't
We'll
know.
I think you go
but
Metallica.
maybe. I think he would go Metallica.
I reckon Conrad goes Dio.
Well, we'll see if
What
we
does
get
the
him back.
audience
Otherwise-
think? What do you reckon?
look,
What
I
does
would
Conrad
rather-
Here we go.
I choose between which album
No,
like Belle
but
did,
what we
which album I
can
would.
do in this regard, if we can't get a hold of him, we'll get a text message out to him so that we can get a response
Yeah.
from him in that
We'll
regard.
get that.
All
I
right.
was just
So
gonna
for
say,
me,
you go ahead. You do it.
I'll go next then while we
You
wait.
go next.
The thing about it is, actually, this is another tough battle because I love both albums to bits, and I've defended definitely Dio. I don't think I needed to defend Metallica per se, but I've defended Dio a lot. But things that were hold-ups in other battles, like, for example, the mixing, it's not really a thing here because they both have their pitfalls, but they both still sound great. They're just, not as good as other ones. I think that both have great songs, both have great performances, both had cultural impact. Arguably, one had a much bigger one than the other one. Both have things about them, but then you go to the pitfall side of things, and there's one, like, whilst Metallica's Kill 'Em All, I think there's still growth in things like the lyrics to come. Like, they haven't hit the peak of their power in that regard. It's a genuine debut. I think what we've learned over the last little bit is that I think Dio's, apart from being inside of his little world, which was a big world, but, in terms of this whole thing, it's not quite as big as Metallica's world. But outside of his sphere that he created, people tended to lose the meaning of the songs that he was going for. I think that it was a little bit too vague, whereas Metallica was just on, especially from the start, they were just all out. Like, that, you knew exactly what they were talking about. It wasn't like there was any fucking gray area or room for misinterpretation or anything like that. It was direct as it gets as far as debut albums go in particular. And so I'm not even thinking about things like cultural impact, just the energy, the attack, the just visceral nature of things. As much as I love and adore Dio, I'm going to have to go with Metallica on this one. It was the harder battle for me between Metallica and Van Halen. This ends up being a harder battle, but a hard battle again, but I'm still going to go with Metallica. I just think that it's, again, what Belle said, what are you going to reach for? I love Holy Diver, but there's things about, and it's not like it's a done deal. Like, I'd happily listen to both, but there's just things about the Metallica album that something about it, just the intensity that it came with, just gets my attention every time.
They captured the raw energy.
Yeah, and that's where
that fucking youthful passion.
They did that very, very well.
That's
but
right.
we have Conrad back.
It was good.
We have Conrad back. So, Conrad, while you're here, it's a done deal. Metallica won, but do you agree with us, or are you going to go with Dio?
No, I think Metallica's fair because of just I think it's about taste, really. Sometimes it comes down to taste. And it's not so much about what's a better album, which one's better. You can't deny the songwriting on Holy Diver is stunning. It's brilliant.
Yep.
But then again, so's the songwriting on Kill 'Em All as well.
Yep.
probably better musicians would have been Dio's musicians at the time.
Yeah.
Undeniably. They would have been more established. Better, but, no, I think Mustaine 'em all gets it again.
You know what? Oh, Jay, go from Metallica.
Yeah, no, well, we're actually, while you were gone, we're having a bit of a which way is Conrad going to go? We didn't know which way you were going to go with that. So, but it's funny how you mentioned the taste and which one you go for, because that's what's decided it for a lot of us. Which one I'm going to reach for first?
Yeah.
Bell and I made that reference directly, and Bell chose Dio, but I chose Metallica, but for the same reason, just ended up a different way of getting there, which is the interesting part of all this as well.
I would reach for,
was
like if I took the album to listen to for me, even though I chose Metallica, I'd reach for Dio more often.
So that was not the basis for your decision.
That was my criteria was the impact that the album itself had on the world. I think,
which makes sense as well.
Yeah, I mean that it all comes down to the criteria, right?
Yeah.
You
if I was going to
choose
get it's the fact you can hear the solos on Kill 'Em All wins it for me. You can barely hear them on Dio's album, which is a shame considering the caliber of people involved in it.
Oh yeah.
It'd be interesting to say, all right, if we all had to judge it by the same criteria rather than our own.
I don't think we will ever be able to do that, though. I don't think we'll ever be able to do that, though.
Which would you reach for? That's the criteria. Which would you reach for? Jeff said Holy Diver. I reach for Holy Diver. You reach for Kill 'Em All. I assume Dave reaches for Kill 'Em All.
Makes it interesting, doesn't it?
What would you rather put on, Conrad? Oh, he's gone.
We're doing well. That's the joys of traveling through London. All right. I'm going to quickly go through some audience comments here while we get Dave to come back in as well. What do we got here? So, Edge Crusher, good to see you. He went Skid Row for him in that battle. But Michael says Maiden for me when it come down to that Maiden battle as well. But Michael says, Skid Row, I think for me, not a lot in it though. That's an interesting battle, Dave, you've come up with between Skid Row.
Seriously, it's an interesting fucking comment.
Yeah, it is.
I remember everyone I've spoken to that were at the Calder Park gig with Guns N' Roses said Skid Row were the much better band of the night. Yeah, and I'm a DNR fanboy, but comparing those two albums, Skid Row doesn't have a song.
I've heard that.
Well, Lee says Dave is like Homer Simpson receiving news from Dr. Hibbert of his demise after eating the poisonous fugu fish. Mr. Metalife, your progress astounds me.
Nice.
I'm a complex person, man. Try have a conversation with me.
Well done. That was good. Vinny says Metallica debut over Maiden on Dave's point, 40 plus years later, instantly recognizable and timeless. Maiden can take a little of not listening to them consistently. So there we go. Michael says Metallica bigger than the Beatles. Now that is a per capita, is that per capita or not allow population growth, Dave? We need to know. Well, there we go.
Let me explain my logic. Okay, forget about the 20 years that Beatles have over Metallica. Let's do something current. Okay, after Stranger Things season 4 debuted, you had fucking thousands of kids learning Master of Puppets on TikTok. A few weeks ago, they released Now and Then. There's a few videos of people covering that. Nowhere near the same impact that they had on Master of Puppets. And that's just one reference I could do. Well, we'll pin this for another time. Yeah, I could go on and on about this. I live with a Beatles fan.
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly think Metallica are a more inspirational band in 2023, even though the Beatles have 20 years on top. We can go on and on about this, but
I know it's been pinned, but can I just make one counterpoint to that? Let's just say instead of Master of Puppets, there was a Beatles song that was referenced on Stranger Things.
Yeah, it could be the same thing.
Would that then launch the Beatles into
possibly? Yeah, Stranger Things.
Well, it did.
Apart from Kate Bush, which is obviously the other big song.
Yeah,
Stranger Things has had hundreds of other songs in their 4 seasons. Kate Bush and Metallica are the biggest.
Yeah, Kate Bush did really well out of that.
Yeah, she did. I fucking hate Kate Bush, but
I know.
Yeah.
All right, we're putting the pin back in. We're going to move on.
Yeah.
Sally said, Jeff said it, Metallica changed the fucking world, so there's that one.
Yes, they did.
Said, Conrad pops up on his stream like a piece of Cluedo board, so... Edge Crusher, Maiden over Metallica for me. Both are unbelievable, though, so there we go. And Conrad, Jeff says, Conrad 6 degree separation, all roads lead back to Mustaine. So there we go. That is just an interesting point there, too. All right. So we have one section to go, which is the Mad Minute, or the Embrace the Chaos part here. which we're going to move on to about the Kiss Avatar announcement here. So to keep things moving on to go through the madness at the end. You okay, Belle, or you look a bit confused, or you up to speed?
As you know, I just don't look at social media, and particularly this week, I haven't touched it.
That's okay.
I don't know anything about the Kiss Avatar thing.
So hang on,
Sorry.
Jeff, did you want to go first on this one because you had a bit prepared? So Jeff, well, what you're going to say, give Belle context. What's going on here?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we'll let Jeff have the floor, and then we'll go from there. Over to you, Jeff.
All right, give me a second.
This isn't going to be a minute, though. Jeff's already cleared with me. He wants to go a bit longer than a minute. So
yeah, it's a bit longer than a minute. I'm sorry, but I had to basically get this out of the way because I felt kind of passionate about this whole thing, and I wanted to weigh in, and I realized that a minute just wasn't going to do it. So this is going to be a mad 5 minutes. Sorry, guys. Look. I totally understand why Kiss would want to continue forever. They say that the band is bigger than the people in it and that the band truly belongs to the fans. But isn't that true for every band? I think, therefore, they're missing the point. The thing that gives something value is the inherent concept that it must retain that of being in a limited supply. The fragility associate something with value. We know that nothing lasts forever. It's instilled in us from seedlings, and it is how we as humans live our lives. We know that our time here is finite, and what's more, we don't know when it will all end. So the best way to enjoy life is to live each moment to its fullest, treat each moment as if it was your last, because truly one day it will be. And it's this fragility that weighs on importance like a mountain and what gives it meaning. And because of this, I believe that Kiss is making a fundamental mistake. I understand why they're doing it. I just don't think that they have considered the consequences or the repercussions of what they're doing. And what's more, I think that it is denying the fans of one of the more elemental things that makes something precious and so valuable. It follows then that should something lose its worth, or if it never ended, it runs the risk of becoming complacent, stale, and old. Kiss immortal, or whatever they decide to call it. Maybe that'll just be Kiss, same as it ever was. After all, this is what they're trying to sell. Now, personally, I don't think it will last, because one of the things that makes Kiss special, and I suppose by natural extension, the same rule applies to everything ever, is knowing that one day, whatever that is or that opportunity is, it won't exist. And so this is more than a thoughtful experiment. What happens when you remove that limitation? Well, I'm not sure, but the world's about to find out, because this is real. Kiss will soon be touring the world as a virtual act, selling out stadiums. Well, I think that's a bit of a stretch, because maybe it will at first, but we don't know how well it will do once the initial curiosity wears off. And personally, I think it will lose its luster. And once that happens, it will cease to be new and exciting. Are Kiss even making new fans? They claim they are, but who knows?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Sorry, man.
All right, that's fine. But despite what Kiss tells us, they are and always will be a product of the 70s and 80s. And aside from touring the world and selling millions of stadiums after stadium, what have they done for the past 25 years? Now, don't get me wrong. What they have put out has been pretty decent. But for 4 albums in 26 years, come on. Now, that isn't exactly prolific. And what's more, the tours that they have been on since the late 90s has mostly been about the material that they did in the 70s and 80s. So I think it's perfectly fair to say that the quality of the material from their career is 95% front loaded the first 25 years. And the last 25 years of the 50 makes up the remaining 5%. Wash, rinse, repeat. This has been the mantra for at least half of their 50 years. And I think at some point they realized that they were a band about nostalgia, hence the return to the makeup in the mid-90s. And the corresponding tour in 96 and 97, that actually happened to be their most successful tour ever. So why not cash in? Apparently it made like $150 million US. Back in the 90s, that was a lot of money. So New fans are essential to the growth of any band, because any fan base that isn't growing is doing the exact opposite. It's either stagnating or dying, and bands can't survive entirely on nostalgia. But then again, it seems what they've made a career of doing, just that. And so, for now, the jury is out if this will last the next 50 years. Personally, I think it's more of a dream. Like those who paid their millions and bought into the whole cryogenics craze thing, seeking immortality of the 70s and 80s. That, too, was a fad, but it didn't stop people from buying into it. To be fair, if we go back to the beginning, when Kiss started, the idea then of lasting 50 years would have been absolute bonkers. It would have been, but here we are, 50 years later, living now in a completely new era, which in 1973 would have been considered science fiction. But as always, just like in everything in life, the one question begging it to be answered above all is, can it last? Only time will tell. So
cool.
Had to get it out.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's all good. You did ask for extra time, so I gave this one. So the concept here, Bell, is that Kiss have gone and done the whole thing. They've done the motion capture thing to create avatars of themselves for the band itself in some way, shape, or form to live on and to be able to continue to create. Not sure about new music per se, but it's just what they can do with what they've got. With not sure about even the stage show. I don't know if that's a
new music as well. Yeah,
new music.
They're going to use AI to create new music, and it's so well done apparently that basically if you're in the crowd on these screens and you go, "I love you, Gene," they can actually Gene would hear that the AI and goes, "I love you too." It responds. It's pretty fucking amazing. Yeah.
All right. So does that help you at all, Bell, with what Kiss have done, and just any thoughts on?
I understand now what's going on. I'm just processing.
All right. Do you want Dave?
Look,
do you want to give
it's
Dave?
okay. Look, I don't think it'll matter. I don't think it'll make any difference if I have more time.
Okay.
I do have questions though. So the band are not going to be touring at all with this show. Is that right?
That's right. This is going to be like
they're just going to be
doing this. Yeah,
watching Netflix at home, and they'll have a crew that will take this show on the road.
They will be able to tour multiple cities at multiple times, all around the world at the same time.
Yeah.
They can have 10 shows playing all around the world at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. And they're not intending on writing any new music. This is all going to be done strictly by AI. Is that what has been said?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So
they are really.
They're effectively using modern technology to rest on their laurels and still continue to rake in the money.
That's pretty much it.
Even after they're dead.
Yeah.
We're thinking 50, 100 years in the future.
They're not going to be around in 50 years,
Their kids will profit off it.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I personally would not pay money to see that, but good luck to them.
Yeah, but you won't be around in 50 years.
Well,
that's
I won't be around in
50, 100, 150, you might be.
I won't be going.
150 years.
Doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter if I'm going to be there or not. I'm not interested in going to see that.
The thing is, though,
but if other people are, good luck to them. And if Kiss want this to happen, good luck to them. It's a win-win situation for Kiss and anyone who wants to pay money to see that.
But it's a novel.
But there are plenty of fans. There are plenty of people who won't. I'm one of them. I've seen Kiss.
Is there an actual band playing? Will it be band members playing?
It's virtual. It's virtual reality.
Just on screens.
It's the metaverse.
So it's not even a live.
Ozzy's already done a metaverse show.
So you go to a cinema. You go to a cinema and you watch it in a cinema.
You log online to the metaverse.
Oh, at home.
You don't even go to it.
No, you do it at home. Like Ozzy did a show this year.
Well, they might do versions of that.
Understanding that.
But they are going to be doing live shows as well, Dave, because they specifically talked about, you would be able to interact with because ABBA's doing it.
I think that's cool. I think it's cool.
I've heard you can do it all. You can do it all from your TV at home. It's all avatars.
So it's both.
Okay.
So it's both.
It probably will be both, to be fair. Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
I think it's
that's-
cool. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
let's let
against
Bell
it.
finish. Let's let Bell finish,
Sorry.
and then we'll.
I'll shut
No,
up.
Sorry,
that's
guys.
all right. I just want to keep it
It's
moving.
okay.
That's all. So, Bell.
It's all right. It's been a minute anyway, but
Yep.
I wouldn't do either. I wouldn't pay to see it. I'd rather watch just the Kiss show on YouTube because it was
Yep.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Watch a hologram AI thing
Cool.
on YouTube or whatever they're
Yeah.
streaming. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Let's throw to Conrad while we've got him then. So, Conrad, just your quick mad minute thoughts on the whole Avatar Kiss thing.
Look, I'm not anti it. I don't think it's certainly not against it. I think it's great that future generations who want to be able to see Kiss are going to get to see them. You know, I think that's a good thing. And if it gets young kids into rock music and listening to other stuff as well, you know, then that's not a bad thing. So, yeah, I'm all for it. You know, in that respect.
Yep.
If it gets young kids picking up guitars, how can that be a bad thing? That's
Yep.
good.
Cool.
You know?
You're right, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
So that's the good.
All right. Nice. Any more you wanted to throw there, Conrad, or is that?
No, that's it. I'm at my assessment centre now.
Cool.
I've arrived at my assessment centre, so I'm going to have to probably leave you guys.
That's good
But I might,
timing.
I might be back on later. I might try and jump back on after the assessment. We'll see how that goes.
Cool.
If you guys
We'll
are
see
still going,
if we're still
you're
here. I don't
going.
know.
If not, then I'll speak to you maybe in the after stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything you want to put in the bin quickly before you get out of here?
Fuck. God, off the top of my head. Yeah, pricks overselling shows, greed.
There
Greed.
you
Concert
go.
promoters. Concert promoters being greedy.
Yep.
There you go. Overselling shows. Don't do it. It's
Nice.
dangerous. Fucking dangerous. Very dangerous, actually.
Yep.
And it was the other night. It was incredibly dangerous. Had something gone sideways, you know, God knows what could have happened. It was bad. It was scary. So yeah.
Cool.
So greedy concert promoters. Fuck you.
Nice.
In the bin. All right.
Well, good luck with your assessment, Conrad.
Thank
Just in
you.
case you're not here, we don't see you later on or whatever else. Just good luck with your assessment. Hope everything goes well and it ends up being a fruitful little outing for
See
you.
you,
this time
man.
now. So,
Thank
yeah.
you very much.
Good to see you.
Cheers.
Good luck.
Thanks for
Good luck,
coming
man.
in.
Thank you.
All the best,
Cheers.
man.
Sincerely, good luck.
I've seen either way. Take it
Thank
easy,
you
mate.
very much. Cheers, guys.
Bye, Conrad.
Alrighty, Dave, you've waited. Over to you.
Okay, man. Look, this T-shirt I got when I was 16 years old. It's my first out of 7 Kiss T-shirts. The most T-shirts I fucking love Kiss. They're in my top 5, which is actually my top 7 bands. Okay, as far as nostalgia goes, I wrote this review while Jeff was talking. I agree. I'm somewhere between Jeff and Bell. Okay, as far as nostalgia goes, Monster and Sonic Boom were fucking fantastic albums.
Yeah.
They tried. They really, genuinely tried to remain current. But that's not what fans wanted. Kiss, unfortunately, became a nostalgia band. But those 2 albums are fantastic. I don't know why they weren't more readily received, which pissed me off because I love those albums.
Sonic Boom. Good.
It ultimately comes down to supply and demand, what the fans want. They wanted old school Kiss. You know, Kiss are not your average band. They transcended pop culture. They transcended music. They became Kiss, this image. That their marketing alone became this whole extra thing. And that brought people to the band. As far as musically goes, I saw them last year on their last show in Melbourne. I was pissed off they went to Sydney when they came back in. But Jade became a massive Kiss fan after the fact. I would dearly love to be able to take her to see Kiss. It's not going to happen. But when I was there, I ran into Anth from the Warbirds, who we all fucking love. They're a fantastic band. He was there with his little boy, who was like 3 years old.
Yeah,
he had a little Kiss T-shirt. And he was like the happiest little kid I've ever seen. Showing me his Kiss T-shirt, turning around, showing me what he's on the back. Wow. So yes, Kiss are genuinely getting younger and younger fans each generation. There was a mother there in just our section with her fucking baby to see Kiss. Yeah. I'm like, put some fucking some earmuffs on. The baby's too young. But Kiss transcends generations. You know, I'm going to piss people off again. Kiss will be bigger than the Beatles because you can show a 10-year-old kid a picture of Kiss, they'll be able to say, that's Kiss. You show a 10-year-old kid pictures of the Beatles,
that's probably true.
Who are they?
Sadly.
Honestly, seriously.
No,
The image of Kiss alone is more important. Okay? You know,
visual matters.
some things actually can last forever if you are important enough, if you have made enough of an impact over your 50-year career. 50 fucking years. The Beatles gave up. They stopped touring. Okay? Kiss continued well past their prime because they had supply and demand. People fucking love this band. People have tattoos of Kiss all over their body. Okay? Kiss are important enough to continue for generations to come, hundreds of years into the future. I cannot see another band more important enough to continue on in whatever capacity they can. I honestly thought once this tour was done, I was really, really fucking sad that December 2nd was the end of Kiss. 50 years, 2 blocks from when they started. And it's been delayed, but sometime early next year, that's the end of Aerosmith. It's all coming to an end.
Yep.
It's a really important time to be alive. It's a fucking heartbreaking time to be alive. But you know what? Every generation, more and more people are interested in these classic rock bands. Fuck the 90s. From the early 2000s with VH1 and Guitar Hero, people went back to the 70s and 80s when music mattered. Okay, Kiss, I honestly thought they would continue on as official tribute bands. You get the best of the best from around the world, and they would do like Las Vegas residencies. You'd have multiple bands touring. This actually seems like the best and most logical way for Kiss to continue. Scan the original members so they are immortalized forevermore into the metaverse, the digital realm, whatever you want to call it.
They did.
And they can continue as their own original personalities, enhanced with technology, and they go on 50, 100, 150 years, because there will always be an interest in what this band created. I'm not really interested in AI produced new songs, but a 50-year career of fantastic music with amazing imagery, amazing stage shows. Bring it on. And you know what? Kiss aren't going to profit from this. It's their kids, their kids' kids, their kids' kids' kids.
Don't need fucking the
But
money.
it's just
Exactly. But
wealth.
Paul Stanley's son
kids
has
don't
his
need
own band. He's forging his own career. He doesn't need this.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's about what this band created and what it means to people from the 50 years that they did and the generations of these fans, kids. It's going down. Like my own kids, Amp's kids. He's like Amp's kid was like 3 years old when he went to see Kiss.
Yeah,
now, it's fucking beautiful what this band has created, and I don't know why people are sitting on this. I don't know why people have a problem with it. So yeah, absolutely, I love this idea. Kiss are immortal; they will continue forever. Yes,
But they do that. Every band does that.
No, not every band does it because I brought it up a few weeks ago. Jimi Hendrix didn't make the top 10. The impact he had 40 years ago is nowhere near the impact he has today. Not every band is going to transcend generations. And I honestly think Hendrix, Hendrix doesn't mean shit. In 2023?
No, he does, because there's
bands he doesn't.
He does.
No,
and I'll tell you why
unless you're a really serious guitar player, Hendrix doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't matter, because if there's bands that Hendrix has influenced that are influencing people.
Yes, but that's the band themselves, not the original. People don't give a fuck about going back. We're music people. That's our life.
Yeah,
people can't see the forest through the tree.
This is a different argument, though. We're going to put a pin in this in a second. But Hendrix
honestly, most kids don't know what Hendrix is.
Yeah, but Hendrix also died at 27. Kiss had a 50-year career. There's a difference in
Kurt Cobain. His fucking t-shirts are sold in Kmart.
There's also a difference in media exposure.
Exactly.
Media exposure.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
We're coming down to, which is where this dovetails into this particular discussion we're having in this minute here. So I'm going to pin the rest of it. I'm going to go on my thoughts now.
Yeah.
It's interesting in the context of how far their careers have come from the beginning. You think about being in the 70s and just thinking that tape was like the bee's knees of technology. To see how far the world has changed in their 50-year career is really actually quite interesting. So to see them starting out with tape and having to do, the paint and whatever, and they almost like the label was leaning on them so heavily it wasn't fucking even funny. Like that
4 albums for
exactly.
them to get a hit.
Everything
They
depended
wouldn't
on
give it up these days.
Yeah, exactly. So the world was different, and to think about how they've come from that world to being able to do this now is actually quite a remarkable journey, just in terms of historical context. Long story short, Kiss can do whatever the hell they like. I think that it's been said though that the market will sort it out. Like if there's demand, it'll go on. If there's no demand, it'll die off. That's just how it's going to work out. So it'll actually be proven, I think, in the next 20 years how well this is going to play out. It'll continue, or it'll dip really quickly, and that'll be that. Now, for all this sort of stuff here, though, I think it's in terms of just career longevity, all that kind of stuff, it's a relatively smart move. I don't think this is one for the die-hard fans, though. I think I've seen people like Jimmy talk about it as well. They're saying, I'm not going to spend any more money on this band. And that's fine. Like, I think that diehards probably won't get into this one too much because they've seen the band. They've done the real thing.
Oh.
Yeah, you might, but I think the majority of old school fans will probably go, no, I've seen the band, I've seen the real thing, I don't need to go and see this version of it. But for the next generation coming through, and you've got to think about what things like baby metal and J-pop have done overseas, the way that visuals have impacted and become a part of the live circuit in Southeast Asia, for example. I think that things like this can and may have a place in the market overall, especially in the context of how many venues are closing down and all that kind of stuff too. So live music is in a big flux at the moment. So this is going to be really interesting.
Sorry, can I interrupt? I'm sorry. We spoke months ago about like bands not utilizing the technology we have and not being able to stream their rehearsals and their live gigs from the garage because that happened during fucking lockdown.
And now they stopped.
This is just an extension from that because less and less people can afford to go out to shows. So people can enjoy these bands from their comfort of their own home. Yeah. Why not? New product, old product, avatars, whatever the means.
And the thing is that for the bands too, it's an easy way to turn over profit because you've made the initial outlay. After this, it's cream on top. You know, they don't have to go do touring expenses, if that makes sense. But, you know, so that in all these sorts of things, it's a relatively smart way to see how things play out. And because Kiss have the ability to do it, well, there you go. Now, I think that it's more for years to come. I don't think it's for now, for the fans now. I think it's more for the generations to come. So I said, wait 20 years, then we'll sort of know where this lands. Mm-hmm. I think it's a better move than doing things like holograms, for example. I think the holograms is a pretty tacky idea. I think this is a better alternative to that. I think the possibilities are endless now because I have done the motion capture. You do know it's them. So even if I don't know about the AI music side of thing, I think that's a bit fucking rich. But just putting together shows, or imagine things like demos, all that kind of stuff. They could do all those things now. They have a medium visually to release content with. Even if they don't tour it, they can just, or play it live anyway. They can just they can use that motion capture footage to generate the avatar and use the avatars to do things like video clips for songs that they might have 20 songs in the vault, and they could do a video clip for all of them and keep the band sort of progressing on in that regard. So in that context, what they could generate content-wise for themselves, if they just pick up the guitar and play themselves, and I don't like the AI side, but if they do the real thing, then who knows what could be there and what they've got in the vault as well. 50 years.
People didn't accept Monster or Sonic Boom, and they were fantastic. So I don't think people want new music from Kiss. They just want nostalgia.
Give it 10 to 20 years. I think people will. People will go, oh my God,
I really hope so.
Yeah, cool. It'll happen.
I would love to see Monster and Sonic Boom become popular.
But it happened for the Beatles this year, and the Beatles song was already one that was technically already released. Do you know what I mean? So it went off. People
are paying attention and they want this content. They can find it.
It'll happen. Don't worry. I have no worry about that.
And the Stones as well. It wasn't AI, but the Stones had a new album, and it, people love it. So
that album was fantastic.
Yeah, it is. But there will be. I think that in time, give it breathing room, there'll be demand for a new song again from these guys with an Avatar video. I think there's a marketability.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not?
And this is the whole thing about love or hate Kiss. Whichever way you land on the coin of that, you'll never forget them, and they've just ensured their future for generations to come. I think I'll wait and see how it all turns out. Like I said, the market will work it out. The market will sort it out. If there's demand, it'll go on. If there's not, it won't. But someone was going to do this. Someone was going to do this.
ABBA.
I can't think of a better band to do it than Kiss. If someone's going to do it, who should be first? Probably Kiss.
Exactly.
Like, it makes sense. They've always been on the
first. That's the thing. ABBA's done it, and they're doing it.
Yeah, but
ABBA Visions has already been doing this now for the past 18 months. Yeah,
but I mean, because
one of the members of ABBA died, right?
Yeah, so we're still talking about a massive band.
Aren't the rest dead?
No.
Fingers
But
crossed.
the thing is, the show. I don't know if you guys have watched Star Wars. This is where the ILM, Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
They there's these massive screens, right, that they developed, and the show The Mandalorian. That's how that show, instead of it being in front of a green screen where the actors can't actually, they have to imagine what everyone is seeing. This doesn't work like that. They literally stand in front of a fucking actual screen, high def screen. They can see the background, everything, and that's what Kiss has done.
Yeah.
So they're using these screens, and they're massive. And you're going to see other shows as well. This is going to be going the way forward. This is going to be how shows and stuff are made.
Well, why? If you can do this versus the cost of going out to a site, then you're not going to go to Tunisia anymore. You'll do it from a home studio. Exactly. That's the way it's working. That's why I think live music will eventually shift into this demographic as well. I think it will. But for these guys, they're having a crack. I think well done. Jeff made a point that time is finite, but for how long is that the case? Like, everyone's got a ticking clock, but with the advancements in health and technology and all that kind of stuff, maybe we won't. Not in our lifetime, I think, but in other lifetimes to come, who knows what'll happen. But I think, and also just in the small market share kind of thing, if you think of things like the Rocky Horror Picture Show or what's it called there, Cannibal, or War of the Worlds, or Blues Brothers. Those things get limited theatrical releases, and they always have a cult following. I think no matter what happens now, Kiss will always have that level of adoration. Even if it's not mainstream, they'll have a cult following that'll be, if this can make it interesting, you get to go and do the classics, and then you get to have, like, the whole Avatar thing could really kick off in a different... Think about what Rocky Horror has done with its, culture base, what Kiss could do with that in this context. It'd be really interesting just to watch play out. I'm not going to shit on it straight away. I'm going to wait and see. I think it's an interesting concept.
I didn't mean to shit on it.
Rocky Horror, though, that's an ever-changing kind of cast. Like, Kiss is Kiss. It's okay, you can argue the same with Kiss too. But,
at
least two of those guys you want to see.
But the thing is that the avatars you can change the image. They've cut, but it's still them performing it. So you can do a few different things there. And think about there's an old cartoon that there was an all-girl band rock cartoon thing. Like, just think about that whole thing, the 80s cartoon effect with these avatars and what you could do with this sort of space.
Jam.
Like, there's a lot of different ways. Jam, that's it.
Jam. Wow.
But you can play around with this sort of space. Like, think about that sort of thing back in the day to what it could do to kids. Like, this could actually make Kiss, like, market-wise, you can make a Kiss kids show now with this stuff.
Do you think maybe
Kiss meets the Phantom in the Park. That was fantastic.
Do you think the younger generation are a bit more accepting and even embracing of this kind of way forward?
Definitely.
Then like the older generation, like me.
Once we're all gone, they'll have grown up with this stuff. It won't make
exactly. They grew up with it.
Yeah, it won't be any different to the real world for them. So
I'm resisting anyway.
And I get why, but at the same time,
like younger.
We've had the real thing. It seems like
but that real thing experience is going to be harder and harder to get versus this kind of experience.
And we're talking like kids like 2 and not even born yet. I think my daughter would have preferred the real thing because she's at that age to have known Kiss was a thing.
Yeah.
Anything younger than that coming through. Like, that's what I mean, like 50, 100 years.
Yeah.
Kiss will still be relevant in 100 years.
Maybe. Look, the thing is,
we won't, but someone will.
These avatars are made on real people, right?
Yeah.
Let's take it to the next level. What happens in the future if, with AI and everything, that an actually completely artificial artist comes out who's never actually lived? But they're making music and interacting with people.
That will happen.
That will happen.
And it will have an impact because that's what people will know.
I reckon over the next 5 years that'll happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've already got some things happening in that space.
I told Jay that Kiss are continuing as avatars, and she's like, "Why isn't Freddie Mercury an avatar?" Like, because he wasn't alive when we had this technology. They couldn't scan him, and she's like, "Why can't they just create him?"
Well, the thing is,
they probably will.
They will generate a thing.
They probably will.
They'll go through all the captured footage. They'll generate something.
And in all honesty, it makes it even harder for new artists because you have to live up to the level of what people in the past were.
I'm going to put a pin in this in a second, but just quickly, that's where we're going to have to deal with the change of the music industry overall, because it comes down to defining a hardcore loyal fan.
Because these fucking legends that everybody rates themselves,
the world we have
they're
today,
dead.
that's a dying breed.
They're dead, but you still have that fucking quality that you have to live up to. They're dead, but they're not gone.
Yeah, time will tell, but there's a big shift overall with the creative arts space with everything going on. That's coming. It's already here.
It's scary. Yeah, I prefer the real thing because I'm of that age. But in 40 years, when I'm gone, people. Freddie Mercury's fucking timeless.
The world moves faster than us. Yes, but the world moves faster than any of us will ever keep up with it. So we've just got to learn to see what comes our way. Let's do some audience comments and wrap up and get out of here. I let this one go a little bit longer than I wanted to originally because it is the last one for the year. It'll be more on point in the new year, I promise. But what do we got here? Vinny says they're being consistently kissed, finding new avenues to maintain revenue, remain a relevant piece of history. I'm all for it. Kind of like a fluid time capsule using today's and tomorrow's technology. There we go. There's that one from Vinny. Rowan says, Connor, put your assessor on the mic. We'll talk you up. So there we go.
Yeah.
Michael says, if Kiss pulls it off in 20 years, Andrew, a good old Australian, probably won't have the internet needed to consume it at the home unless the government changes a lot. Well, we'll see. Maybe not in Australia, but Europe and America will have it anyway, not us. Vinny says, we can only hope, Michael, current infrastructure is as stable as Peter Criss. Well done.
He's a bit of a prima donna, isn't he?
That's good. Nicole says, if people are willing to pay for a good on him, if it's not for me though, and that's the thing. That it will become down to individual choice, but it does at least leave the door open. Lee says 20 minutes till we can listen to Cassie Paris' debut on streaming services. Hope she does well.
Ooh.
Hope so too. That is out tomorrow. That's absolutely correct.
Good luck to it.
We won't have time to review it this year. We'll get to it in the early new year probably, but that is one we do hope for Cassidy all the best. I don't know if she'll have watched this part of it, but yeah, she's released some great songs so far. Fingers crossed. This one's on Frontier, so it's a major label debut as well, not just her debut album. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what this does for her. And she had a successful UK tour just finished up, so hopefully that just sort of continues on for her as well. All the best to Cassidy.
Absolutely. She was awesome.
Yeah, phenomenal. Vinny also says, for the record, those bands who implement theatrical elements in their product should get on this. Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, Gwar, to name a few. There's a lot that can do anything in this space. But Nicole said, didn't the Monkees have their own cartoon?
Yep.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they suck from the start, man.
They were put together to compete with the Beatles, right? It was like the first, hey, we got the technology, let's do it.
Why the Beatles and not the Kinks?
I don't know. I think the Beatles were just more
lucky
in terms of media exposure.
Right management, right marketing.
Yeah, and easy to digest. Yeah. I just think they had that. They weren't the Boys Next Door. They looked like the Boys Next Door. That made it easy for them to get through it. They had that charm about them, which worked in their favor.
Sorry, I'm missing something. What do you mean, why Beatles? In what context? What do you mean?
They both started about 63, 64. Why the Beatles? Why were they the big ones? Why not the Kinks? Why not the Who? The Beatles weren't the fucking be-all and end-all in 1964.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, the Beatles had the right charm,
right management, right marketing, just the luck.
Yeah,
we could build some more people. They were just
that's marketing was different.
Because people put the more money behind them to get them out there. They had the right management, they had the right marketing.
That back then, I wouldn't go as today. I would argue that point, but not back then. There wasn't that.
They did the hard yards.
So did every other band back in 1963, 1964.
But this is where the entertainment industry is not necessarily meritocracy. Just because you work for it doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Exactly.
We talked recently about, we're talking about Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford and the Priest songs, but we just talked the other week or last week about the Saxon song, which I think is just as good as the Priest songs, but no one talks about Biff Byford the same way we talk about.
Exactly, and Biff's fucking great.
But that's the thing. That's where it's not always about meritocracy. It's just about what works.
What's fair, what's right, what's more popular. It's about the fucking marketing and what's cool.
It's not only that, though. It's just also just timing and just, sometimes it breaks. Sometimes
right album, right time, which brought me back to Skid Row, Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
87, 89. 87, you have 5 years before grunge hits. 89, you have 2.
Yeah. Swap the years, maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Exactly.
We're going to go around in circles. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up here. Nicole says, to the majority, the Beatles were better and more user-friendly. And that's where that one comes from with Nicole there, too.
I agree.
Alrighty. That wraps us up for 2023. We are done. We are probably going to be back streaming around January 10 is when we're looking at getting back, somewhere around that mark. Just, obviously follow us on the socials to keep up to date with all that sort of stuff. I think we did work it out, didn't we, Dave? No, it'd be the 11th. So the 11th will be the first stream back in 2024, something like that. I'm sure that we'll do something in between. We'll be posting, we'll be doing stuff. There's actually a lot of things I'm planning to release editing-wise behind the scenes, including a review that Dave did with his daughter for the Moonskin show recently.
How cool is Jane, man? She fucking nailed it.
That was fucking cool. There's a show that Dave and I filmed with Belle a little while back. We're going to release that over.
Yes.
There's also some other discography work. There's a whole lot of stuff to get through that we've got a whole lot in the can that needs to be released. So we'll be releasing stuff as fast as I can over the Christmas break. Don't worry, there'll still be stuff coming out. It's just the live streams will come back on January 11 at this point in time. The last thing we have left to do is film our top 10s for the year of 2023, and that will be done on Sunday as a little session for our Patreon supporters. So if you want to get involved in that, sign up to our Patreon. There's a link to that in the description box. But that will be released probably close to Christmas, as well as we always do these things. Between the week leading up to Christmas or between Christmas and New Year, we'll release the top 10s of 2023. We'll always sort of do it toward that period of time. But we're going to film it this week, and that's our last bit of filming for the year that's planned. And then we'll bring back the Sunday sessions, obviously, following the 11th. So whatever the date that works out to be, that would be the 14th in the context of things there. So that's what's going on with all that. We have all the TV stuff covered. We're still going to be releasing new episodes on television if everything goes to plan. So Christmas, we have 2 hours on Channel 31. New Year's Eve, we have 2 hours on Channel 31, followed by Marathon. And then we have new episodes dedicated around that bit leading up to and after that. So we're going to keep doing new episodes through the Christmas break, so long as I get everything edited by Sunday night. So it's a big few days for me coming up. That's about it, though. So, yeah, TV, I'll get it done. I always do. But TV is Saturday nights, 10:30 p.m. Channel 31. Thursday nights, Channel 44 Adelaide. Watch both of those in simulcast time with the CTV Plus app, which is with a plus sign, or via ctvplus.org.au. If you want to help us out, please do check out our Patreon page. I'm about to, the downtime coming up is going to be a chance for me to revamp the whole fucking thing. But we're going to take care of that and do a big marketing push on that to try and make next year, because it does go directly to helping us. It's basically buying the hours we need for editing. So the more we get help there, the more we can do things like editing. Dave had we both had an email come through about interviews we would like to get done. This week was the worst week possible for it, but we'd like to get all those things done.
The guitar player from In Flames who was in Megadeth, and I'm fucking working. No.
Oh, it's painful. Fuck. We have the opportunity to do these things. Just a bit more support on the back end. So
it wasn't that long ago. I had to pass up an interview with Wednesday 13 and fucking Chris Jericho and Floor Jensen.
Yeah, so we're trying to stop that. If we can. Those opportunities are great for us. They come through all the time. We just need, because the time zone's different, we need to be here.
If I interview those three people, it'll be a fucking good conversation, because I adore those three people.
And you know them well. Yeah. All their careers. Yes. Anyway. So, yeah, any help on that regard. So forgive us in advance. We're going to be doing a bit of a push on that in the new year. If we can get up to a little bit of money, then we'll be doing pretty well. And we've got some special things. Like I found a new thing to play, which I think Jeff enjoyed. But that league thing, that music league thing, that's going to be a cool thing for our Patreon supporters. I reckon we'll have a bit of fun with that. But there's a whole lot of stuff going on. We're going to keep changing. I think so.
What?
I think so. We'll see.
Music league.
Anyway, I'll explain that after we wrap up.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It's coming. All right. But that'll outdo us, I think. That's the usual stuff. Check out the reference tracks. Make up your own mind about music as always. Let us know this is the final one for the year. So we've had a blast. Hopefully you've all had a great time with us as well. Want to take a minute here to wish everyone a happy, safe, and happy festive season. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Stay happy, healthy, and well. Enjoy the time. It is a special time of year for everyone, so please do. And if you're not feeling it, then please surround yourself with those that are nearest and dearest and can make you sort of feel a bit better at the day as well, because it is all about that quality time more than the other stuff as well, as far as I'm concerned. So please do make of it what you can, because we get this little break at the end of every year. We all look forward to it. So just do what you can with it as best you can. And hopefully for all of you out there, enjoy it, stay safe. We want to see you back here with us as we launch into 2024 very, very soon. For now, we've got to do a bin, though, so let's get on to it. Dave, what is your final bin for the live stream? We have one more bin coming up on Sunday, but what's your final bin for the live streams for the year?
final. I got a fucking list, man. Get ready for a rant. Okay. First up, Drunk Dave. He can be a cunt. He can be funny. I apologize to anyone I upset, and I applaud anyone who found me funny. It's a balance, and like I said, I'm sorry and thank you for putting up with me. Secondly, this week has been an absolute cunt for me, and I'm not happy about it. Piss poor Christmas decorations from your local council. We got a fucking cardboard cutout of a tree. Other councils got all this fabulous stuff. We got a cardboard cutout of a tree. Fuck off. I pay for this shit.
Yeah,
fucking
you do. Wow. That's bad.
Running out of alcohol, running out of money, running out of patience, and running out of time. If you know the reference, you rock. Putting the washing machine on and then going to wash your hands the moment the pressure drops. Now, at the end of every week, Friday, I put my work stuff in the machine, and you put the powder in, and you're like, oh, my hands are filthy. You turn the washing machine on, you get all your shit done. You go to the bathroom to wash hands. Just as the washing machine kicks on, and, like the pressure drops. Fuck that. Okay. A few months back, I lost my mojo. And I had to watch what I say. So restraint can get in the fucking bin. People who don't clean up after themselves or leave empty packaging behind, or can't put things back where they belong. And it turns a 2-minute job into a half-hour fucking job. It pisses me off. There was some days are cruisy, some days turn to shit. I've got this thing where I could put something down and I could grab it without even having to watch what I'm doing because I'm thinking about the next 2 things I need to do.
Yeah.
Get fucking organized, people, because I hate that shit. Lazy people, your inconsiderate behavior fucks up with other people's lives. Fuck off. Getting back to fun, trendy, fickle, and shallow people. You can fuck off too. The Reserve Bank. I hope you and all of your families get fucking AIDS. You're a bunch of cunts. Spotify for hiding Skid Row's Get the Fuck Out. If you go on Skid Row's band page, they got Beggar's Day. It's a B-side. Get the Fuck Out is the way it is. If you're not a pussy, if you actually type in Get the Fuck Out, you can find it. Have to rather than want to, that can get in the fucking bin. And never enough time. There was never enough time for everything. That can get in the fucking bin too. So that's me done for 2023.
Hey, well done. Feel better?
I do. I actually do. The bin is cheaper than psychology.
Yep. There you go. All right, Jeff, you can follow that up.
Well, look, is there any room left in the fucking bin? I don't think so.
Probably not,
but I'm gonna
the bin. Jeff, the bin has been a gaping sicko bitch for 10 years. You can always fit more in.
Yeah.
It's like Mary Poppins' bag or the TARDIS. It's bigger than you think.
Oh, that Mary Poppins was a slut. You see the fuking word she dishes out?
Anyway, Jeff,
she likes them big, man.
Yes, she does.
I know. Please,
all right,
Jeff.
look. Okay, so my bin is little bastards banging on shit outside of my fucking house all fucking afternoon while the father stands there like this watching, make sure the kid is safe, and he's out there bang, 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 and I'm fucking like, the next fucking bang is your head against the wall, you little prick, and he just keeps bang, bang.
Dude, what
bang.
goes on at your house, man?
This is outside.
What's he doing?
I don't.
Where do you live?
I live in a nice neighborhood, but like clearly this father is like, my son needs to get this out now, outside where he doesn't break anything. Maybe that's the thing, but I just like. It's just going like every fucking time you do is I'm fucking jumping because it's like it's going through my head. It's like a fucking nail, bang, bang, and it just kept going and kept going and kept going. In fact, when we started the stream tonight, he was still going. And then as the lights fucking the sun went down, he must have fucking that was it. But it's like, oh my God. So parents, I get it. I don't have kids. Okay, but little kids out there that are just making noise for the sake of fucking making noise in a neighborhood outside where you think that's okay, fuck off. Get in the fucking bin.
No chance our kids will do that.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I would have been like, dude, go bang and something soft or something. If you want to take your energy out, whatever. No. He's got to bang on a fucking box. Fucking bang, bang, bang for fucking 4 hours. Bang, bang. The little country, he's gonna be a drummer. He's got to be a drummer. He's got energy. I'll tell you what. He didn't miss a beat for 4 hours.
Wow.
So yeah. Anyway, he's in the bin. That's it.
Sorry. I got two things. One, when I was like 12, me and my friends used to randomly run around neighborhoods kicking people's garage doors just to fuck with people.
God.
So I'm sorry from 30 years ago. And two, Lee McDonald just messaged me and informed me that Limp Bizkit playing Good Things tomorrow night, that Fred Durst is in fact in town, and he is looking forward to the Dave versus Fred celebrity death match. So Lee, you're a fucking champion, and yes, I will take on Fred Durst because he's a fucking pussy.
Alrighty, okay.
You
can take care of the emails.
Yeah.
You can do the emails. I'll do the editing. All right.
Yes.
Belle, over to you.
Keep rolling this, you little bitch.
Do you know what time it is?
Yeah.
All right. Fucking hell. All right. My bin. So, anti-bin. So, an anti-bin is something that's just happened. That's awesome. And that is the Northlane reference that Dave just threw out there. Fucking awesome, dude.
You got it. Sweet.
Nice.
Of course I got it. It was Northlane. Come on. And also in the bin, my council, they don't send me shit. I'd be happy to get a shitty cardboard cut out of a tree. My council sends me nothing but rates bills. So they can get in the bin.
I'm fucked up with the rates bills.
They're not good.
I get nothing but bills from them. Assholes.
Let's kill them.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I can't. This is
Now I
news
know
to
why I
me
got
that
banned.
They send you shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Set them on fire.
Huon Valley is clearly struggling. Anyway, it's not surprising though. All right, so my actual bin is being far away from the people I love at Christmas.
Yeah.
That is my bin. And okay, so I'll have a couple of people there with me when I'm overseas.
Yeah.
But everyone is here.
Yeah, it's not
Everyone else. Everyone else is here, and it's the first time, so yeah, it's kind of going to be rough, I think.
Yep.
You'll love it though.
And
it's a white Christmas,
will
so it'll be a
good.
different experience. It'll be a different experience.
It will be, yeah. I'm looking
Be
forward to
magical.
the fact that it will be white Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be sure to spam you with lots of photos.
Please.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my other bin is the mini ant raid that I found here on this desk this afternoon when I came up to sit down and write some notes. I left, I was drinking creaming soda last night, and before I went to bed, there was just a little bit left in the glass, and I left it here. I went to bed, and there's fucking ants all in it and having a big party, and most of them were dead. They drowned themselves.
Idiots.
So good.
That's why there's so many of them. It's like fucking lemmings.
Well, exactly. Well,
You gotta feel
glad
bad.
they died. But yeah, I was finding them for an hour later, just this random ant, just crawling around like, oh,
Takes
where's all
forever.
my friends? Yeah, so they can get in the bin. That's it for me today.
Cool. Oh, I empathise with you, Belle, completely, because it's our first Christmas away from the kids.
I
So
know. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how that goes this year. Because they're back in Melbourne, we're up here in Queensland. And it's also our first Christmas with only one dog for a number of years now, too. Which is an interesting thing too. So it's a bit of an interesting one, but it's looking like we're getting to the house soon. So it's also, there's, all these sort of swings and roundabouts and everything. So just the chaos of the last year can go in the bin. I haven't been able to do as much as I would like. And I apologize to a lot of people on that because there's things I wish I'd have accomplished sooner. It just hasn't happened yet. And I appreciate the patience because it has been a big year in a lot of respects. But my main bin for this week, very short and sweet, is Facebook. I don't know what the fuck happened to get a ban for 3 days. I can't message, I can't post, I can't like, I can't anything. It's fucked. And I didn't do anything. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The only thing I can think of is because I've used the words kill them all in the context of what we're doing here, in things like the group.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
I've had posts removed from 5 years ago when I was promoting THRS radio. 5 years late. It's done. But I don't know. Facebook's been a cunt recently. Yeah,
no, it's been a bit of a pain in the ass. I don't know what exactly is the trigger, but it is what it is now. So I just have to think about what
Discord.
goes.
Sorry. Yeah, it's also Discord because it's blocked me from sending you stuff. Remember, I've started sending you all those bits and pieces, and it's like, no, you've been naughty. You can't send anything else. Well, I haven't tried since I've been using your email.
I'll try again, see what happens.
I'll try again. Yeah.
Yeah, try again, see what happens. But we got the other solution now, so it's all good. But so that's been just making it hard, especially when it's like the end of the year and it's like, come on, I just want to get through this week. Like, just let me. You can do it next week. You can ban me next week all you fucking like. Just give me this week, please. Like just that.
What a Grinch.
I know it is what it is. But that's it for now. That'll do us. On behalf of Conrad, who's not here presently, thank you all so much for watching. On behalf of us all here that's been a part of the show this year, thank you everyone that's been a part of it. Thank you to everyone that's watched us. Thank you everyone that's tuned in, posted, commented, all that sort of stuff, messaged us. There's lots we haven't gotten around to, but we have seen a lot of the stuff. So it's just a case of just bear with us while we try and get more done in 2024. We're looking forward to another big year coming up. There's already some cracking albums slated for it, so we're looking forward to seeing what comes up.
Did you see Sebastian Bach's got a fucking solo album due for next week?
No, I didn't see that. Wow. Okay. Here we go again.
He's got a new song due out very soon. It says new album is out next year.
Shit. Okay, it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a massive because Anthrax are dropping as well, so it's going to be massive. Oh, it's going to be a big year. Bring it on. We're going to take a break though.
Bring the noise.
We are going to be taking a bit of a break. Going to refresh, recharge, and hit 2024 right in the fucking mouth. That's what we're going to do. We're going to punch it in the face. But until next time around, we'll see you all very, very soon. But until then, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Belle.
And I'm going to quickly go through comments, actually, because I didn't fucking do that.
Sincerely to everyone that's watched us throughout the year, thank you, love you, stay safe, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for putting up with my crap. Thank you for enjoying my crap. Like, fucking, you're much appreciated, sincerely.
Just quickly here, I'm going to say Michael said, lots to listen to from THRS over Christmas from streams this year. Yes, there is. I'm glad you found some stuff to enjoy.
Yep. Thank you.
He says, thank you for another awesome year, gang. Conrad, Jeff, and Bell have been tremendous additions, and your songs of the week have really upped my playlist to new heights, which is fantastic. That's the point of it.
You.
Yes.
Lee says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks as always for your candid reviews. Drink up, rock on. Likewise to you, my friend. Vinny says, Merry Christmas, happy and safe New Year to you all. I'm going to drive across the city and bump into you, Dave. You've all been warned. So there we go.
You've got to come to Glamfest. I'm going to I'll sell some body part on the black market, and we've got to get to Glamfest.
Nicole says, thank you for another great year of music.
About who's coming.
Take care all. Have a wonderful Christmas. Happy New Year. So thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Michael says, awesome streams. Thank you, whole panel and viewers. Learned so much this year. Merry Christmas.
Thank
You're
you.
most welcome.
Brett,
that Jeff is a legend. Where did you find him?
Thank you,
Brett. He's a buddy of yours.
From another mother.
You're not my buddy, guy. You're not my friend, guy.
Rowan's given us the usual. Vinny's gone. My bin is finding out there's a new paraplegic strip club that's open in New South Wales recently. Apparently, it's crawling with hot chicks. I'm sorry. That was so wrong.
She can stop me any day.
Oh, here we go. And then Vinny's gone, fuck me, that Mary Poppins reference is champagne comedy. And then Lee says,
Mary Poppins is a slut, man.
that new Baz song is out
She's
tonight.
gagging for the big
Oh,
one.
but voice is strong. So the Baz song is out tonight. So there we go. Alrighty, folks. That'll do us. We've done the rounds. Let's just do the sign off. We'll see you soon. Until then, you know what to do, folks.
Drink up.
Drink up.
Rock on. And
And
Merry
rock
Christmas,
on.
Happy New Year's, drink up, all that stuff. Thanks, guys.
Have a great
Fuck
Christmas, folks. We'll be back again in a few weeks, but look after yourselves. We'll see you soon. Cheers,
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Happy New Year.